To Wolves and live exclusive Premier League commentary to come right now as Talksport takes you to Anfield for top of the table Liverpool against bottom three Ipswich Town. Your commentary team, former Premier League captain Troy Deeney alongside Ian Danta.
Thanks, Adrian, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport on game day. Liverpool's inexorable march towards a 20th top-flight title has shown little sign of being halted. As well as that, their record against promoted teams is particularly strong. They've won their last 10 such games with an aggregate scoreline of 34-7. Into that scenario then come the visitors today, Ipswich Town, on the back of two successive home defeats with none scored and 8 conceded. Suffolk side, as Adrian's just mentioned, in the bottom three, but level on points with Wolves, the other side of the dotted line. And Kieran McKenna has been busy recruiting in this January window, looking for the balance and blend that could keep them up on this Premier League return. Arne Slot keeps Liverpool's changes to a bare minimum today after that 7th straight Champions League win over Lille here on Tuesday. Andy Robertson returns at left back for Kostas Tsimikas. Jota and Jones are absent through injury. Jones went off with what looked like a groin problem midway through the game against Lille. So Liverpool line up with Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson in the back four. It's a big day for Virgil van Dijk, his 300th Liverpool appearance today. Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister, the deeper midfielders, Cody Gakpo, Dominic Szoboszlai and Mo Salah in behind Luis Diaz in attack, and a Liverpool bench of Kelleher, Endo, Nunez, Chiesa, Elliott, Tsimikas, Dans, Quansah and Bradley. What of Ipswich? Well, they make 5 changes from that 6-0 reverse at home to Manchester City last Sunday. 3 players exiting the matchday squad altogether in Cameron Burgess, Jack Clark and Jens Kajuste. The 2 Bens, Godfrey and Johnson also make way as Jaden Philogene makes his full debut for the Tractor Boys after his 20 million plus move from Aston Villa. Also back in, Tuanzebe, Greaves, Burns and Calvin Phillips, who was ineligible to face his parent club at Portman Road 6 days ago. And so Ipswich have retained Christian Walton in goal. He's come in for Ari Muric in recent times. Axel Tuanzebe, Dara O'Shea, Jacob Greaves and Leif Davis in the back four. Sam Morsey and Calvin Phillips holding. Wes Burns, Amari Hutchinson and Jaden Philogene in behind Liam Delap in attack. And the subs for Ipswich, Muric, Enciso, that's Julio Enciso, having freshly arrived on loan from Brighton, Taylor, Johnson, Townsend, Luongo, Hurst, Broadhead and Godfrey. Well, Storm Eowyn passed through the northwest of the UK yesterday. Hopefully you're okay wherever and however you're listening to us if you were caught up in the horrible conditions yesterday. But today on Merseyside, barely a cloud in the sky, barely a breath of wind on a crisp, clear winter's afternoon, and the scarves are aloft as You Never Walk Alone reaches its climax. Troy Deeney, who's practically sleeping here at Anfield, he's here that often, is alongside me for the afternoon. Make a case for Ipswich doing something here this afternoon, Troy, if you can.
Got real pasting last week, so now they're going to be so cautious and so defensive minded. Look like they've gone back to their normal traditional shape. Kieran McKenna's not going to change too much in terms of how he approaches games, but last week against Man City was too gung-ho for even his liking, so you'd expect him to be a little bit more cautious going into this game.
We're underway on Talksport. Liverpool and Ipswich both in their first choice colours. Liverpool in all red, Ipswich in the blue shirts and socks and the white shorts. And Liverpool are attacking the Anfield Road end to our left. We're high up in the main stand here at Anfield, myself and Troy and our producer Izzy the Cop to my right, and the Kenny Dalglish opposite us. We're at the bottom of the top tier, if that makes any sense, but we've got a proper bird's eye view of the action going on beneath us. And remember, we'll take you around the grounds for goals as they go in with those games at Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton and Brighton in the Premier League, and the pick of the Championship games this afternoon as well here on Game Day on Talksport. Liverpool coming forward for the first time with Gakpo stepping in from the left-hand corner of the penalty area and whistling a shot in that went comfortably over Christian Walton's crossbar, and Ipswich have an early goal kick, 0-0.
Good start from Liverpool. You can already see with Ipswich are going to back off. They're probably 20-30 metres into their own half, trying to allow Liverpool to play in front. And really interestingly, from a tactical point of view, they've got Philogene coming right inside to block the spaces so that Trent can't go inside like he does, and they're leaving Leif Davis 1v1 with Salah on the outside. That could be a problem potentially moving forward, but in that situation there, really good play from Liverpool. Out to Gakpo, cuts in on that right hand side and gets a lovely shot off, just goes over. Expect a lot more of that, Dads.
Leif Davis had Mo Salah as his first test as a Premier League left back in August. Did pretty well up until the point where Liverpool hit the front in the second half. He's getting away down the left hand side for Ipswich, level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Liam Delap trying to wriggle through a couple of challenges, but Szoboszlai wins it back and immediately looks for Salah, but across came the challenge of Dara O'Shea, Jacob Greaves rather should I say, to put it out of play. Greaves back in today. He missed the Manchester City home defeat on Sunday. 2 minutes gone on Talksport. Game Day Live coming to you from Anfield this afternoon on this beautifully clear afternoon with the sun shining brightly into the faces of the Liverpool fans in the top tier of the Anfield Road and the Ipswich fans in that tier as well, but it will soon drop behind the Kop end and the whole ground will be in shade. Here is Virgil van Dijk. 300 Liverpool appearances today for their redoubtable defender. Finds Robertson on the left-hand side. Just tucks it into the Ipswich half down this near side, the left for Gakpo. Robertson gets it back. Early ball up to the left-hand corner of the box, looking for Luis Diaz, but he just pushed over O'Shea, and that'll be a free kick to Ipswich given by the referee, Michael Salisbury, who's in charge today. 0-0.
Good start for Ipswich. Started to slow it down, trying to take their time with everything. When you come here, Dance, this energy straight after you hear You'll Never Walk Alone and the crowd's up, you've got to try and kill that for that first 10 minutes, get it back to a level playing field, and that's why Ipswich, every ball that they've had from a set piece, whether that be going out for a goal kick or a foul like this, they're going long, stick it in their area, let's make it uncomfortable.
First goal of the 3 o'clocks in the EFL has gone in at Chesterfield, where Port Vale lead. Jayden Stockley with an early goal for the Valiants, who are 3 unbeaten, starting the day in third. And Rotherham in League One lead at Burton Albion. They got their first win in 10 last time at the Brewers, but they trail at the Pirelli to Louis Sibley's goal for the Millers. 0-0 here at Anfield as Liverpool throw the ball in. It's picked up on halfway by Alexis McAllister, but he runs into 3 blue shirts, one of which Sam Morsey brings the ball away. Rides the challenge in midfield, and then good strong work for Szoboszlai to try and win it back, but Twanzebe, once of Manchester United, just down the East Lancs Road, guides it back to O'Shea, fires it up the right hand side. It will deflect into the path of Mari Hutchinson. Calvin Phillips has got Gravenberg closing down the space, so back it goes via Jacob Greaves to Christian Walton, who kept goal against Liverpool on that opening weekend and then made way for Ari Muric for quite some considerable time before getting the number 1 jersey back in recent weeks. Muric, one too many mistakes, you would suggest, passing out from his own penalty area. 0-0, 4 minutes gone. Liverpool in possession down this near side, the left, as they attack the Anfield Road. Robertson just lays it back to Gakpo, 20 yards inside Ipswich territory, rolls it back to Van Dijk on the halfway line, and Van Dijk floats it out to the right hand side, and it asks a lot of Alexander Arnold, but he's managed to collect it and just knock it back to Ibrahima Konate, who Adrian and Troy Deeney were speaking about before kick-off in terms of his rise and his great form and his total respect and love for the man alongside him, Van Dijk. Twanzebe intercepts a ball that was intended for Gakpo, knocks it calmly back to Walton. First time clearance from the Ipswich keeper, skies it a bit, doesn't quite reach halfway, and Van Dijk got up above Liam Delap, but Ipswich fire it back into the feet of Liam Delap. He managed to roll Van Dijk, but then ran into Ryan Gravenberg, tried an early ball forward looking for Luis Diaz, comfortably intercepted and thumped downfield by Ipswich. 0-0 with 5 gone on Talksport.
So it'll be really interesting for Liam Delap, because he's bigger, he's stronger than most people in this league, and I've been in that situation where you feel you can just bounce people off. You go up against Virgil van Dijk and Konate and they both go, I'm just as strong as you, big fella. Do you want to do it again? And he's just had it there 3 times. The ball's got into him in a space of 10 seconds, every single one. Virgil van Dijk wins the first header, puts him on the floor and comes out with the ball. So that just shows this is going to be a real tough game for him, and it'll be a real good learning game for him as well, because he'll humble himself a bit and go, right, I need to be a bit cuter against these better players.
8 goals in the Premier League though for Liam Delap. It's not been too shabby a debut
Excellent.
at the elite level for the former Manchester City academy star. Jacob Greaves brings the ball down on his chest for Ipswich, lobs it over the halfway line. Wes Burns goes up with Van Dijk. Van Dijk comfortably won the header, but has stayed on the ground, just fell awkwardly there. He will get up shortly. I don't think he's too badly injured. Meantime, Luis Diaz picks it up down the left-hand side for Liverpool. Solihull Moors 0, FC Halifax Town 1 in the National League. Van Dijk's back on his feet, and he receives the ball back from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now Szoboszlai has Salah holding the right wing, wants the ball up against Leif Davis, level with the edge of the area, darting down the right hand side, lays it back to Szoboszlai, right hand corner of the area, clips the ball in across to Robertson on the left hand side of the box, tries to drive it across the face of goal, but it came off the knees of the defender and out of play for a throw. Wes Burns diverted it out. Quickly taken throw from Liverpool, not back to Alexis McAllister. Square ball to Konate, midway point of the half, just lobs a diagonal ball into the penalty area, but it's too high for Gakpo, and that'll be an Ipswich goal kick. 0-0 on Talksport.
Interestingly, from an Ipswich point of view, when they are defending, they've got Wes Burns dropping right the way down, so they essentially turn to a 5 when it's coming down Liverpool's right and their left, and that's where, when the ball got clipped all the way through then to Robertson at the back post, he was literally on his own because Wes Burns had covered in as if he was a right back essentially, and that's got to be a worry because later on in this game Szoboszlai will start to cheat and go in there, as will Luis Diaz. These good players will start to realise what's going on and then start to find these spaces.
Alexander-Arnold slides it down the right wing for Mo Salah, faced up by Jacob Greaves, gets to the edge of the area, comes inside on that left foot, tried that shot as he does so often towards goal, but it was blocked at source by Leif Davis. Salah gets it again down the right hand side of the area. Few hands go up for offside. Cross comes in, headed up in the air awkwardly by Twanzebe. Greaves tries to help it clear, and Phillips then is dispossessed by McAllister, running out towards the corner flag right hand side, and then he hits it against, well, he thought he won a corner there, Alexis McAllister, but the linesman on that far side has given a goal kick to Ipswich. Opening goal at the Vitality Stadium on Talksport. Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Justin Kluivert picked up the ball midway inside his own half. He ran and ran and ran, and when the crowd asked him to shoot, he obliged, and he beat Sells to his right hand side. Bournemouth 1, Forest 0.
Who needs strikers when you got Justin Kluivert?
He's flying, isn't it?
What a start for Bournemouth. In fantastic form, 11 unbeaten, let's not forget, before the start of play today. You're listening to Talksport. Liverpool 0, Ipswich 0. Ian Danter and Troy Deeney with you at Anfield. 8 minutes gone, and no real chances for either side just yet. Liverpool just seem to be sizing Ipswich up for the moment.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure out, Dads, which is the side that is best to attack. Yeah. So they keep going from left to right, but Ipswich early doors, his first 10 minutes are really moving and shifting well. What Liverpool know is it's impossible to do this for 90 minutes, so they'll just keep you patient. But I think their best chance is going to be down Salah's side because Philogene is not naturally a defender.
Gakpo swings across in, headed away by O'Shea. 0-0. Burton equalised against Rotherham. That's 1-1. John Daddy-Bodvarsson, I think that's 2-2 for him. And Wigan are 1-0 upon Bristol Rovers. Elsewhere in League One, James Carragher makes it 1-0 to the Latics. Hearts 1-0 upon Kilmarnock in Scotland. And it's 0-0 here. India have been set 166 runs to win the second T20. You can hear their reply live on Talksport 2 right now. That's why this commentary is here on Talksport. Goal at St Mary's, Alex Crook.
And how about this? Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Jan Bednarek climbing highest in the penalty area. It's a brilliant header from the centre-back, meeting across from the right-hand side. It had been all Newcastle to that point, but it's the home side in front. Southampton 1, Newcastle 0.
Having lost their last 5 in the Premier League, but Newcastle losing heavily at St James's last time. Here's Szoboszlai for Liverpool, up to the edge of the area. Brilliant goal! Left-footed drive, low, hard and true, into the bottom corner. It's not taken Liverpool long, less than 10 minutes to hit the front, and it's Dominic Szoboszlai with an emphatic low finish past Christian Walden's despairing left hand and into the bottom corner for Liverpool 1, Ipswich Town 0.
What a ball from Konate. Come down that right hand side, I could sense that was the problem. Konate's just strolling in. As he opens up, fires a really good breaking pass into Szoboszlai, who rolls out to his back foot. Looks like he's going to play Salah in. Cruyff, as he comes in on the edge of the box, 20 yards out, lovely shot with that left foot, right across the goalkeeper. No chance for Walton. 1-0 Liverpool, and unfortunately now, Dance, Ipswich are going to have to come after them, and you know what happens when that happens, don't you?
One can quickly become 2 and 3. Well, Ipswich fans know about losing heavily here at a side like Liverpool down the years. St Mirren take the lead at Aberdeen in the Scottish Prem. We're back underway on Talksport. Ipswich kicking back off, but an offside flag goes up against Delap. Let's check in about what's happening at Molineux on Talksport. And there this afternoon for us is Adam Bridge.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal in control generally, but the best chance so far has gone to Wolves. Semedo down the right-hand side. Lovely cross swung in and on the volley. Sarabia should have done better, but he volleyed over the crossbar. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
And a championship goal at Ashton Gate. Lawrence Mora.
Bristol City 1, Blackburn 0. Scott Twine from a free kick. You'll be shocked to hear he's the free kick expert at Ashton Gate. He's curled it right-footed, 20 yards over the wall and into the back of the net. Bristol City 1, Blackburn 0.
Alexander Arnold swings across in for the right, blocked away by Calvin Phillips after Mo Salah so nearly in behind for Liverpool, but Jacob Greaves got back goal side and got the block in, Troy Deeney.
Yeah, great ball from Trent just over the top, a little clip down the channel. The problem was the bounce was going up, so Mo Salah couldn't get it under control. If he could have got it under control, he was in for a 1v1. Greaves gets back, arguably could have been given a penalty. Mohamed Salah was asking for one, but the ref has waved that away and no VAR getting involved. But Liverpool look like they're turning the screw now. They're realising that they can invite the pressure on from Ipswich, make them come up, and then just go direct in behind with that pace and the power that they have.
12 minutes gone on Talksport, so Liverpool already have the lead here through Dominic Szoboszlai's clinical left-footed strike. So Bristol City ahead against Blackburn, as you just heard from Lawrence, and Scott Twine doesn't score tap-ins. He only scores free kicks and 30-yarders, seems to me. Here's Calvin Phillips finding Axel Tuanzebe, the Ipswich right-back, inside his own half. Takes it up toward the halfway line for Wes Burns, and the Welshman is just clipped by Cody Gakpo, and the referee gives a free kick to Ipswich, which Burns wanted to take quickly because he saw Liam Delap on his bike over the halfway line, but just wasn't quite quick enough to spot the run. Let's give you first update of the afternoon in the Premier League from the Amex Stadium. Alfie Reynolds.
Well, it's Brighton 0, Everton 0, but big concerns for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He has just limped off to be replaced by Beto. Calvert-Lewin with a goal-scoring appearance last week. He went down clutching his hamstring. How big a blow could that be for David Moyes and Everton? 15 gone, Brighton 0, Everton 0.
Luis Diaz wins the ball back for Liverpool. 1-0 up here against Ipswich. Midway point of the Ipswich half, lays it back to McAllister. Szoboszlai, the goal scorer, 25 yards out, clips it out to the right wing for Trent Alexander-Arnold, steps inside Jayden Philogene, tries to fire across in, Morsey gets the block in, and then Alexander-Arnold fouls Jayden Philogene and Ipswich get a free kick. Poor Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's made a straw of that boy, isn't he, Troy Deeney? Made a straw.
Yeah, it's a shame. You don't want to see players keep getting injured, but at some point you've got to be able to be consistent, and it's a real big investment for Everton to give him a new contract when you just see how little game time he gets back, and also he's not been scoring a lot, so when he feels like the new manager coming back in gets a goal, gets a win, you'd expect him to kick on, but unfortunately his body's made of cheese strings, as you said.
You're listening to Liverpool 1, Ipswich 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Man City, Chelsea live today. Search Now Sports. Burns with a cross into the box for the first time for Ipswich today, but Liverpool deal with it, head it clear, and now Gakpo's on the charge. Down the inside left channel, gets over the halfway line, rides the challenge of Tuanzebe and finds Szoboszlai once more. Shovels it out to the right wing for Mo Salah, up against Davis, gets into the area, goes on the outside of Davis, gets to the dead ball line, but Davis again managed to get back goal side, and that afforded Walton the chance to pounce on top of the loose ball and prevent another chance on goal for Liverpool. Quarter of an hour gone, 1-0 to the hosts.
The transition is key for Liverpool. As soon as they turn the ball over from Ipswich, whether it be a cross like we've just seen there and a great header from Virgil van Dijk, they could just go so quickly, and they're in within two passes. Mohamed Salah's in at the back line of Leif Davis, and good defending from Leif Davis in the end, but we'd probably argue that Mo Salah could have done a little bit better.
He's got a bit of green grass to scamper into here, Leif Davis, as he gets up over halfway for Ipswich Town, squares it inside for Calvin Phillips, who gives it back to Davis, then further down the left hand side for Philogene. Maybe a chance to run at Alexander-Arnold. No, back came the challenge of Mo Salah to take it back to his keeper. Lincoln City 1, Peterborough 0. Dom Jeffries puts the Imps in front in League One. Got their first win in 7 last time out, the Imps, starting the day in 12th. Earlier today in the EFL, wins for Millwall and Norwich, a draw between Stoke and Oxford. Cambridge, Bolton, Bradford all won, and the horrible rivalry between Milton Keynes and AFC Wimbledon continued with a goalless draw at Stadium MK. Those two do not like each other for obvious reasons. It's 1-0 here to Liverpool. As the ball set up towards the edge of the Ipswich box, Twanzebe gets ahead of Luis Diaz, but the chip ball forward won't find Delap. Konate and Van Dijk tidy up. Robertson shovels it out to the left wing, just down beneath our commentary position, and Cody Gakpo. He knocks it back to McAllister. Square ball into the middle of the Ipswich half for Konate. Now out to the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold is ahead of Salah on this occasion. And Salah knocks it back in field to the two centre-halves. Crewe 0, Accrington 1. Sean Wally, another goal for Stanley at Crewe this afternoon. That's second against 21st. Here's Virgil van Dijk as just a hush falls over Anfield for a moment with 17 minutes gone. Liverpool 1 goal to the good already, courtesy of Dominic Szoboszlai. Diaz goes back in field to Konate in that central position once again. Out to Alexander-Arnold, who's elected not to try and go past Lee Davis that time. Very, very patient from Liverpool. Diaz again, inside left channel, up towards the edge of the area. Fires it out left to Gakpo. Tries to get Robertson in on the overlap, but too much on that pass, and it just trickled over the dead ball line. And it's a goal kick to Ipswich, 1-0 Liverpool.
Good shape from Ipswich though, held their line really well. They're really disciplined. Just looking down at Kieran McKenna, talking to Delap now, asking him to get some messages on, because he'll feel that, yes, while the containing is good, they have to be able to get out. If you keep inviting the pressure like they are, this is going to get really ugly really quickly. And for Liverpool, maybe a little pot shot from the edge of the area. Just make Ipswich have to think about something. They're trying to get so many little 1-2s and little bits of pattern to play that if you could get that pot shot off, you never know, it might just make them come out and defend a bit better.
Good turn from Hutchinson, tries to send the ball down the right for Wes Burns, who got to the byline, and he's won a corner off Andy Robertson. Hutchinson with a lovely turn for Ipswich inside his own half, ran fully 40 yards before releasing it down the right wing, and Burns won a corner off Andy Robertson at the Kop end. 1-0 Liverpool.
Good turn of pace for Wes Burns as well, giving Liverpool something to think about. Andy Robertson defended well just at that last ditch there, but this will be a massive chance for Ipswich now, whether they can go and got some big boys, but a good delivery, has to beat the first man and allow for his players to come and head this ball. But this will be one of the big key opportunities that they've been working on from Thursday and Friday to get these opportunities.
Zonal marking from Liverpool at the Kop end. Liverpool not marking anybody inside the 6-yard box. There's 3 Ipswich players beyond the far post, a couple around the penalty spot, and 3 lurking at the edge of the area for this corner from Leif Davis. Right under the crossbar. Allison flaps at it but gets it half clear, and Szoboszlai completed the clearance for Liverpool. But there was a push inside the box on Allison, and Michael Salisbury's given a free kick to Liverpool. Goals elsewhere. Fleetwood 0, Carlisle 1 in League 2 this afternoon. Chedwin Scott puts Carlisle ahead, just 1 win in 10 for the Cumbrians. Tranmere 1, Gillingham 0 in the same division. Tranmere lost 3 out of 4, but Sol Solomon gives them the lead against Gillingham. And Livingston 2, Hamilton 0 in Scotland. And the Spartans 0, Peterhead 1 in the Scottish lower leagues. Ian Danter and Troy Deeney with you on Talksport this Saturday afternoon. 20 minutes gone at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Ipswich 0. Dominic Szoboszlai inside 10 minutes with a really sweet, low, left-footed strike into the bottom corner. Here he is again, feeding it in field for Alexis McAllister. Going to go for goal from 30 yards. That's a low drive, but it's well wide in the end. Walton knew he had it covered, and it was a good 3 yards wide of Walton's left-hand post as we look to the Anfield Road end. It's a goal kick to Ipswich.
That Liverpool free in midfield just dominate, don't they? The ball come back there from Phillips into Morsey, and Morsey just tried to leave it for Phillips to go and run onto, and all 3 of Liverpool's midfielders just swarmed, won the ball back, but also just dominated, left Morsey on the floor. Little 1-2, and McAllister will probably be a bit disappointed with the shot. It's one of those ones when you know you've got to hit it hard because you're 30 yards out, tries to hit it too hard and just scuffs it to that left hand side.
Let's get an update from Molyneux on Talksport with Adam Bridge.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 0, but the visitors should be in front. Brilliant play from Trossard on that left-hand side, onto his right foot, dinked a lovely ball into the box. Havertz rose highest, but he couldn't direct his header goalwards. It was a whisker wide of the left-hand post of Jose Sarr. 21 minutes played, Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
1-0 here to Liverpool. Let's check into the vitality on Talksport with Ian Abrahams.
Midway through the first half, still Bournemouth 1, Forest 0. The goal scored by Justin Kluivert. We've just seen Christie have a shot saved by Sells. At the other end, Morgan Gibbs-White, Elliot Anderson and Ryan Yates all close with long-range efforts for Forest. Bournemouth 1, Forest 0.
Liverpool in possession inside their own half. So let's get off to St Mary's next on Game Day Live with Alex Crook.
It's still Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Jan Bednarek with a header on 10 minutes. There is a VAR check here for a possible Newcastle penalty. Alexander Isak bursting into the 6-yard box. Joe Aribo with a challenge. I don't think he got enough of the ball. I wonder if this might well be a penalty for Newcastle and a chance to get back into the game. The check continues. At the moment, it's still Southampton 1, Newcastle 0.
All right, thank you, Alex. We'll get back to you as and when things change, potentially at St Mary's. Free kick given as Van Dijk was just caught trying to get rid of the ball. Yeah, brought the ball out of the sky like he got moccasins on and then got fouled as he tried to effect the pass forward. But yeah, he's so laid back, he's horizontal, isn't he, Virgil van Dijk?
The ball's just gone over, to give the list of it, it's gone over his head. As he's brought it down with an unbelievable touch, he's got Liam Delap bearing down on the back of him. He just flicks it over his own head, with his head, and over Liam Delap, and still gets on the other side of it. He's facing his own goal. Everybody else would be putting that out for a throw-in. World class. World class.
Perry Groves would be saying at this point, his only problem is if the wind gets up, his cigar will go out. McAllister for Liverpool, who lead by a goal to nil midway through the first half. We'll check in at the Amex again in just a moment on Talksport. Ball's gone out to Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Finds Van Dijk in the centre circle and drills a ball out to Gakpo. Left-hand side down towards the corner flag at the Anfield Road end. Comes back on in his right foot. Was he caught by Wes Burns? Well, he was, but the referee says play on. And Burns has hurt himself. Shot coming in from Van Dijk from distance. And Wes Burns, having made that challenge, has come off worse in trying to dispossess. It's his right knee. Yep, we're just seeing a close-up. The monitors are a bit erratic here at Anfield this afternoon. But he went in strongly and jarred his knee. Knee against knee there, Troy Deeney. Not nice.
It doesn't look good. He's on the full stretch leading across. And as he's gone to make the tackle, Gakpo's passed it and his left knee has gone into his right knee. But what you can just see on the replays, his MCL just goes inside a little bit. And the fact that he's reacted the way he has doesn't look good to me. It looks like he's opened the inside of his knee up. If you just watch it back on this replay here, Dad, as he leans in, watch this right knee. See how his knee comes in on the inside? Yeah. That doesn't look good. I wish him all the best.
Well, he's getting treatment now, so whilst that's happening, let's check in once again. Oh, it is a penalty at St Mary's then, Alex Crook.
Yeah, Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Penalty given. Sam Barrett, the referee, called over to have a second look by the VAR, Chris Kavanagh. I've got to say, I think it's pretty clear. It's a clumsy challenge from Joe Aribo. He arguably leads with his wrong leg, doesn't get the ball. I'm surprised the check took as long as it did before the penalty was awarded. It will be Alexander Isak, Newcastle's man of the moment, their leading goal scorer, to get Eddie Howe's men back on level terms here, up against Alex McCarthy, the stand-in Southampton goalkeeper. No Aaron Ramsdale this afternoon due to injury. Wolf whistles from those Southampton fans behind the goal away to my right. McCarthy bouncing on his line. Isak usually so calm and collected from 12 yards. Newcastle falling behind that Bednarek header. Here comes Isak, sends the keeper the wrong way, finds the bottom right corner. It is Southampton 1, Newcastle 1.
And the first championship goal of the 3 o'clocks goes in at the Hawthorns. Dave Rowe.
West Brom 1, Portsmouth 0. Alex Morris striking from outside the area, laid back by Dean Garner. Good strike by Mo, but real mistake by Schmidt in the Pompey goal. That should not have gone past him. It did. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 0.
I've got the Bristol City were 1-0 up against Blackburn through that. I just get so used to Scott Twine scoring worldies. I just kind of let it pass after the time. But yeah, Bristol City are in front against Blackburn. Let's check in at Brighton, where last I checked there were no goals there. Alfie Reynolds.
And it remains that way. Brighton 0, Everton 0. Biggest moment of note so far was Dominic Calvert-Lewin limping off early, holding his hamstring, but neither keeper have been worked so far. It's Brighton 0, Everton 0.
You're missing none of the action here at Anfield because Wes Burns is still lying in some distress and the stretcher has been called for. to lift the Welshman up and off the pitch. Ben Johnson is already stripped and ready to come on as a replacement for Wes Burns, and this is not what you want to see. It was Burns making the challenge on Gakpo, but he came off worse and stayed down. It's currently Liverpool 1, Ipswich 0. For the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Liverpool at 20-1 on to win. The draw is 14-1. If you fancy an Ipswich comeback to win, that's priced at 50-1. That's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. So whilst Burns continues to get treatment, I remind you the Premier League scores: Bournemouth lead Forest by 1-0. Liverpool 1-0 up here in our live commentary at Anfield. Southampton 1, Newcastle 1, Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Man City Chelsea is at 5:30. The goals in the Championship, Bristol City are 1-up against Blackburn, and West Brom 1-0 up against Portsmouth. All the other games are definitely goalless. The 3 o'clocks in League 2, games with goals: Burton 1, Rotherham 1, Lincoln 1, Peterborough 0. Stockport have taken the lead against Crawley at Edgeley Park. Wigan 1, Bristol Rovers 0. And the games with goals in the 3 o'clocks in League 2: Chesterfield 0, Port Vale 1, Crewe 0, Accrington 1, Fleetwood 0, Carlisle 1, and Tranmere 1, Gillingham 0. India 16-1 in the second over in reply to England's 165 in the second T20 International in Chennai. Live ball-by-ball coverage of that reply is over on Talksport 2 right now, and there's lots of other live sport across the weekend. We have Fulham Manchester United tomorrow night here on Talksport in the Premier League. Over on Talksport 2, you've got Premiership Rugby at tea time from 5 o'clock. Sale Sharks against Bath, and then it's the NFL Championship games in the NFC and AFC Championship games right the way through from 7 o'clock to about 3 o'clock in the morning, if you fancy staying up late and listening to see who makes it through to Super Bowl 59. Burns still about to be left on the stretcher, and we have a goal at Deepdale in the Championship meantime for Talksport's Matt Jones.
And it's Preston 1, Middlesbrough 0. This is an absolute perler from Stefan Tordarson. He breaks down the left wing, he cuts inside onto the area. There's half a thought of passing inside, but instead he whips a shot into the far corner. It curls around Tom Glover and nestles in the back of the net. A brilliant strike, worthy of taking the lead. Preston 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Wes Burns just being lifted onto the stretcher here, and the St John's ambulance will shortly pick him up. That's what they've just done now. That's what the applause is for. So whilst he's being taken off the field, let's check back in quickly at Molineux on Talksport with Adam Bridge.
29 minutes played here. It remains Wolves 0, Arsenal 0, but Arsenal should be in front. Trossard again from that left-hand side. It's a peachy cross. Havertz, an absolute sitter, about 8 yards out, and he's put it straight in the legs of Sarr, who made a really good save, but Havertz should really have done better. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
And we'll check it at Bournemouth as well whilst we're at it with Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 1, Forest 0. Justin Kluivert's goal, but could have been 2 a couple of minutes ago. Lovely work by Antoine Semenyo, right hand side of the area. Matt Sells down to his right hand side to make a smart save. Referees having an inconsistent afternoon here. Bournemouth 1, Forest 0.
Back underway here at Anfield. Ball's out of play for a Liverpool throw. Another goal at St Mary's in the Premier League. Alex Crook.
And another goal for the visitors. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2, and it's that man Alexander Isak at the double, but he owes an awful lot here to a brilliant slide ball pass from Jacob Murphy. Totally took the Saints defence out of the game, and it's a really good finish into the bottom corner, side-footed. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2.
First thing Troy Deeney did was show me his fantasy football squad, which contains Isak. Who knew that he was a decent player and you put him in your 11? Oh, no idea. Troy, of course, was bigging up Isak as the sort of player that Manchester United would be do well to be looking at.
Mate, every top club in world football could do with a striker like him. He's excellent, in my opinion. This vein of form is the best number 9 in world football, and Newcastle are going to be probably inundated with £100 million offers over the next couple of weeks.
Think of a number and double it probably at this rate. So Newcastle have turned it around at St Mary's. Leyton Orient had the lead against Reading in League 1. No winning 3 for either of those teams. 8th against 7th, but Dylan Markanday, once of Spurs, has given the O's the lead at Brisbane Road. 1-0. Half an hour gone, but there's going to be a fair old chunk of added time at the end of this first half because of a good 3 minutes where Wes Burns was getting treatment before being stretched off. But Ben Johnson's on to replace him, and Ipswich have a throw in their right back area. of the pitch. They're attacking the Kop in this first half. Well, I say they're attacking the Kop in this first half. They've had very little sight of the Kop end in these opening 31 minutes, Troy Deeney.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that they've gone and put Johnson right in there in midfield as a right winger as well. Naturally a right back or right centre back by choice, and sometimes they played centre midfield. So just looking like they're maybe not too sure on the fitness of Cisco, who they've got in from Brighton, because he would have been a natural replacement, and I don't think they want to get too expansive too early. So interested to see how this right side develops when Liverpool have the ball.
Yeah, Johnson is ahead of Twanzebe. Great work from Ryan Gravenberg to hold off Sam Morsey, and then Salah beats Davis to the loose ball just over the halfway line, threads it through the idea for Soboslai. Oh, he couldn't control the ball as it ran across his body, and Ipswich were able to get it half clear. Ball squirts away from the Ipswich midfield, and Liverpool have it again down the left hand side with Andy Robertson up to the edge of the area. McAllister tries to fire it in, it's half cleared by the Ipswich defence. Will be off for a championship goal in a moment, but Liverpool pressing hard again, looking for a second goal here with 13 minutes to half time on Talksport. Mo Salah up against Davis into the area, goes for a left-footed shot, and it's headed away by Jacob Greaves. That goal's gone in the championship at the Hawthorns, Dave Rowe.
West Brom 2, Portsmouth 0. Grady Diangana with the strike. Second mistake by Schmidt in the Portsmouth goal. Good play by Mikey Johnston. Left-hand side, got free of two challenges. His shot bounced back off Schmidt and straight to Diangana. West Brom 2, Portsmouth 0.
Tony Mowbray looking for his first win back for a second spell in charge at the Baggies. It's 1-0 here to Liverpool against Ipswich. Cheltenham leads Salford City by a goal to nil in League 2. Tommy Backwell with a goal for the Robins. Ipswich just bring the ball away from the edge of their own penalty area. There's 3 up in this move as Omar Hutchinson clips it into the Liverpool half, and Delap running out to the right hand side. He's taken Konate with him, and is he pushed over by Konate? Well, he's done well to hold on to the ball as he gets to the byline, just runs out of room, and it ends up being a goal kick to Liverpool as Coventry City take the lead against beleaguered Watford. Victor Torp with a goal at the CBS Arena, and Troy Deeney to my right just casually shakes his head.
I was just thinking as well, do you remember earlier on I said this is going to be a massive lesson for Liam Delap in his development. That's the perfect example of it. He's just got put down the channel, he's running into a corner, big Konate comes steaming in, holds his ground, but they just used his body enough where Liam has to fall over and ends up giving a goal kick away. Nobody else in the Premier League's doing that against him. Maybe the Arsenal centre-backs, and that's it.
Salah twisting, turning down the right-hand side, gets the cross into the near post, and Walton couldn't hold it. But there were Ipswich defenders around him who could thump it clear before any red shirts got to the loose ball. And the ball goes up to halfway, and Ipswich have got everybody in their own defensive third at the moment, as it's wave after Liverpool attacks. Gakpo now with a cross from the right to the far post. Salah! 2-0! It had to come because they've been pressing, and Mo Salah almost inevitably gets his 19th goal of the season. The ball from Gakpo was just delicious from the left-hand corner of the area, drifting overheads, landing at the far post for Salah from a tight angle, but he doesn't worry about tight angles. He can score from almost anywhere, this bloke. Mo Salah makes it Liverpool 2, Ipswich 0.
It's a wonderful ball. I was just about to say to you as well, Dad, you can feel that the Liverpool have just, this little break in play has actually made it better for Liverpool to regroup, and they're going again. Great play from Gakpo, cuts it on that from the left hand side onto his right foot, edge of the area, just puts that delicious ball just into that back post area. Goalkeeper can't come. Szoboszlai jumps with 2, he misses all 3 of them, lands at Salah's feet, and I actually thought he should have squared it because Diaz was there for a tap-in, but Mo Salah knows how to score goals a lot better than me. Puts it in at that near post into the high area. Great goal. Unfortunately for Ipswich now, how many can you keep it under before half-time?
We've still got 10 minutes plus a fair old slab of added time to come before we reach the half-time whistle here on Talksport. Mo Salah scores his 234th Liverpool goal.
Not bad, is it?
And his 400th English career appearance. You might remember, Blinken he'll have missed his time at Chelsea under Jose Mourinho before he was farmed off away from Stamford Bridge. But that's 20 plus goals in 8 consecutive seasons for Mo Salah.
Ridiculous. Really, really, really good numbers. Great numbers, in fact. you'd like to think you wouldn't let him go for free, would you, Dad?
Funny that, isn't it? Yeah, you wouldn't let a player like that go down to the final year of his contract, would you? No. Lincoln City 2, Peterborough 0 at the LNER. Tom Bayliss with a second for the Imps, and Stockport in the same division have doubled their lead at home to Crawley. Macaulay Southam Hales with a second for the Hatters. And 2-0 here to Liverpool. We've got 9 minutes to half-time on TalkSport. Ian Danter and Troy Deeney with you, high up in the main stand here at Anfield. And it's the Anfield Road to our immediate left that's seen pretty much all the action in this first half. Troy Deeney.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ipswich, we've not even mentioned Philogene name once from an attacking point of view. I think as well, this is difficult. I've been in this situation when you get promoted and you're looking at these big games. I don't think we ever had Man City and then Liverpool back to back in my time there, but these are character builders now. If they lost a big number the other day.
Gravenberg just picks it up, centre field, works it out to Salah, right hand corner of the box, drills it into the area. Greaves went to ground and got it clear, but it diverted straight back to Salah, who's scrapping for possession with Philogene, and then he's helped out by Alexander Arnold, who wins it back and finds Gravenberg, edge of the area, right hand side, elects not to go for goal, just plays it backwards to square to Robertson. Now Gakpo again, left hand side, cutting in field now to the centre of the half. Square ball for Kanate, out to the right wing. Alexander Arnold and Salah in combination on the chip ball from Salah, under hit and volley clear, and Delap's on the charge for Ipswich, but the ball bounces over his head as he tried to run through. That sums up his first half. Another goal in the Championship at the Hawthorns. Dave Rowe.
West Brom 3, Portsmouth 0. Jeb Wallace gets his first goal of the season. Portsmouth falling apart here. Dean Garner allowed to run from halfway and then play a perfect ball into the penalty area. Wallace beat the keeper. West Brom 3, Portsmouth 0.
And that's after back-to-back wins for Portsmouth. I'll be down at Fratton Park on Tuesday for their game against Millwall, live on TalkSport 2. And Millwall got a win today at Luton at lunchtime. First win for Alex Neil since he went back in to football management. You're listening to Liverpool 2, Ipswich 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. So in the Premier League, Bournemouth still 1-0 up on Nottingham Forest. Arsenal still 0-0 at Wolves. We'll check back in at Molineux in just a tick. Goalless at the Amex, and Newcastle have come from behind to lead 2-1 at Southampton. Free kick to Liverpool as McAllister was brought down, just heading towards the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Ben Johnson just being given a bit of a ticking off from referee Salisbury, and this is another dangerous position for Liverpool to try and exploit here, Troy.
Yeah, you just feel that Ipswich need to weather this storm getting into half-time, because right now it's just wave after wave of attack. They've got no possession of the ball, no real attacking threat. A lot for Kieran McKenna to do, especially coming off that massive defeat last week as well.
I make it 71% possession that Liverpool have had in these opening 39 minutes. So a free kick for either Robertson or Gakpo to swing in. Robertson looks favourite to clip it in left-footed from this left-hand side. Ipswich holding their line just inside the 18-yard area. Played to the far post and headed down for Hutchinson to get it clear. Goal in the Championship at Ashton Gate, Lawrence Mora.
Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1. Andy Vyman against his old club, tapping home after Gay's header had rebounded off the post. He was totally unmarked, 3 yards out, could not miss. Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1.
Well, Liam Delap's just gone down wanting a penalty, nothing doing here at Anfield, but there is a penalty on TalkSport at the Amex. Alfie Reynolds.
Well, 40 minutes played, Brighton 0, Everton 0, but Everton have a penalty here. Joel Veltman is deemed after Tim Robinson, the referee, consulted the pitch side monitor to have deliberately diverted the ball behind with his hand. They've just played a replay up on the big screen. The home fans don't like it. I don't think there can be too many complaints. It was a ball in behind. Veltman had Beto at his back. He was struggling to get to the ball. He did, and then as he was going to ground, there's a clear movement of the arm towards the ball to knock it behind for a corner, and it means that Everton here have a penalty. Verbruggen has picked up a yellow card for his protests, but what an opportunity for David Moyes' side to take the lead here as we enter the final 5 minutes of the first half. It's going to be Iliman Ndiaye to take the penalty, which is in front of the Brighton fans, to the left-hand side as I look at things, bouncing the ball and die. A brilliant performance from him last week in victory over Tottenham. And having lost Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the early stages of this game, one of their main attacking threats, Everton still with a chance to take the lead. We're going to get there. Ndiaye places the ball on the spot. Tim Robinson tells Verbruggen to get back on his line. The fans behind the goal waving to put off the Everton man. Penalty for Everton here at the Amex. Ndiaye puts it in the corner and Everton lead. Verbruggen dived the right way but couldn't get a hand on it, and it is Everton that lead. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
2-0 to Liverpool here at Anfield on Talksport, and they're coming forward again with Luis Diaz. Less than 4 minutes plus added time to half-time. Andy Robertson down this near side gives it back to Diaz, having to turn away from the attentions of Sam Morsey, the Ipswich captain. Rides the challenge of Hutchinson and then just leaves it for Mo Salah, standing just in front of the centre circle. Quick left-footed pass to Robertson, who floats the ball into the box, looking for the run of Diaz, who got back into the penalty area. Cleared away, but only as far as Virgil van Dijk steers it out to Gakpo, left-hand side, coming in again on that right foot as he did when he set up Salah for Liverpool's second. Konate has it again, shovels it out to Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Salah inevitably in support, tucks it back in field to Alexander-Arnold, and he tried to set Salah away down the right-hand side of the box, but they just got a bit mixed up there, did Liverpool, and the ball's back with Christian Walton. Burton 3, Rotherham 1 in League 1. John Daddy Bodvarsson with another for the Brewers. Barrow, who sacked Stephen Clements after they lost at Swindon last weekend, they lead Grimsby by a goal to 0. Robbie Gotts with the goal for Barrow. And it's 2-0 here to Liverpool, and Ipswich have the ball in their own penalty area with goalkeeper Christian Walton, all in yellow this afternoon. Firing it downfield, intended for Jayden Philogene, but easily won back by Alexander-Arnold. McAllister steps into the centre circle and feeds Gravenberch, running down the inside right channel. Salah ahead of him, 3 waiting for a cross. One of them is Szoboszlai, brilliant save, but Gakpo tucks in the rebound to make it 3. The flag does not go up, and Liverpool do have that third that they've been searching for ahead of the break. There were 3 waiting for a cross as it came in from the right. Szoboszlai had the first effort, Walton managed to keep it out, but right on the spot in front of goal, Gakpo tucked it home, and Liverpool are powering clear, not just in this game but at the top of the Premier League. Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0.
My initial thought was that Szoboszlai was offside, but Tuanzebe is about 7 yards behind everybody else. Lovely little ball into him from Gravenberch as he rolls it in. Szoboszlai, great shot, good save from the keeper. Unfortunately, Gakpo, like all good strikers, is on the move, he's on his way in, taps it into an empty net. As we said, this is going to get really, really painful for Ipswich very, very quickly.
Well, 3-0 here to Ipswich. And we've got a red card at Molineux. Adam Bridge.
We have Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. It's Arsenal who are down to 10 men, and it's Miles Lewis-Skelly who's been sent off by referee Michael Oliver. It came from an Arsenal corner. Rice swung the ball in, it was half cleared, and then Matt Doherty was about to break out from the edge of the penalty area, and Lewis-Skelly has tripped him up probably about 5 or 6 yards outside the edge of the penalty area, and Michael Oliver has gone straight to his pocket and pulled the red card out. It's not for obviously a goal scoring opportunity, it's so deep inside the Wolves half. It must purely be because of dangerous play, but we will find out. We'll get the lowdown on it. 0-0 here still as we head towards 45 minutes.
And the goal pig on Talksport this afternoon is at the Hawthorns. Dave Rowe.
West Brom 4, Portsmouth 0. West Brom haven't scored 4 all season. They have done in one half here. Grady Diangana is second of the game. Long ball forward by Holgate. Terrible Portsmouth defending. Trying to play offside. It wasn't. Diangana in behind and beat Schmid. West Brom 4, Portsmouth 0.
Mind you, we're not far behind the goal pig, Dave Rowe, with the 3 we've got here at Anfield, in fairness to Dave. I've been reminded that Barrow do have a new manager, of course, Andy Wing, who left Solihull Moors in the week. And we were talking about Matt Taylor, one of your old colleagues, getting the job at Solihull. He was at Wealdstone before that.
Yep, with my pal Adrian Mariappa at 39 years old. He's still going strong. Fair play to you, sir.
So all change in League 1 and League 2 in managerial matters. But Barrow are in front. West Brom 4 up, as you've just heard. Liverpool 3 up here, and we're just moving into 7 minutes of minimum stoppage time. If you're just tuning in wondering what that's for, it's because Wes Burns The Ipswich midfielder was down for some considerable time with a knee injury, had to be stretchered off in the end. Ben Johnson on for him. Here come Liverpool again, firing the ball down the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold was looking for Salah. It so nearly snaked its way through to him, but Leif Davis slid in and kept the ball away from the Egyptian. Ball up to halfway. Van Dijk just seemed to have all the time in the world to leap in the air and cushion a header down for a teammate.
Have you noticed there, though, Dance, as the lap now starts to lose a little bit of life in himself? He's not even going for the headers now because he knows he can't win it. And trust me, I've been there. It's so demoralising when you've not touched the ball, your team's losing 3-0. Every wave of attack looks like, I wish I was on the other team, but it's just getting physical.
Mo Salah weaving his way into the area, tries to play it across the face of goal, looking for Diaz, but Greaves got a foot in. And Ipswich try and bring it clear with Philogene. Neat flick in field for Delap, gives it back to Philogene down the left-hand side. Got shoved in the back there by Ibrahim Konate on halfway, so Ipswich do have a free kick. And I take it, Troy, you're talking about, there's Liam Delap as a young kid just starting out the game. Age is no barrier to that sort of feeling.
Oh, absolutely not. No
inferiority. No,
and it's also it's demoralising. You want to showcase at the big games at Anfield as a kid. This is what you dream about, but you don't get to do it because your team's just not up to the fight. And Ipswich are just going to be going longer and longer as this game goes on. Deeper and deeper, kicking the ball longer and longer into the lap, so he can't showcase what he really wants to do, which is show that he belongs on the top table.
Tranmere 1, Gillingham 1 in League 2. Jordan Turnbull equalises. That's an own goal, putting Gillingham level. And Blackpool 3-0 up at Exeter. Former West Ham hitman Ashley Fletcher has got a third. That's a long trip down for the Seasiders fans down to Devon, but they're enjoying themselves there. Exeter 0, Blackpool 3 in League 1. 3-0 here to Liverpool, with 2 minutes of the minimum 7 added on at the end of this first half having gone. Salah takes a quick throw down for Alexander-Arnold. It's all I can do not to call him Alexander Armstrong. I did it once in a game and it's stuck in my mind ever since. Andy Robertson finds Luis Diaz, midway point of the Ipswich half. Ipswich just been praying for the half-time whistle, but it's nowhere near coming yet as Salah has it again up against Leif Davis, knocks it back for Alexander-Arnold. He tried to thread it back through two Ipswich players to find Salah in the area, and between Phillips and Davis they got enough on it to keep it away from Salah. But you heard Troy Deeney's reaction to the actual intention of the pass from Alexander-Arnold.
Because it's one of those passes that you do in training, you'd never think to do about it in a game. He sold the eyes as if he's going to whiff a crossing, and then he's just straightened up his foot and just punched one, tried to go between two players. If that would have went through to Salah, which it nearly did, it'd have been one-on-one, it would have argued been a goal. It probably would have been an assist of the season. It's so delicate and so intentional with what Trent just did there.
Go on.
I just wanted to paint a picture for the listener. Everything at the moment, the furthest defending that we've seen for Virgil van Dijk at the moment is 35 yards inside the Ipswich half.
Yeah.
It is all Liverpool, and every single one of them is so comfortable with and without the ball at the moment that Ipswich are just being suffocated through possession and through where everyone's starting position is.
And when they try and win the ball, as they just did there through Sam Morsey, they clip Alexis McAllister, and Morsey, who's not backward in coming forward, gets to his feet, has a bit of a remonstrate with Alexis McAllister. Liverpool are on this fantastic run, 17 unbeaten in the Premier League, 12 wins, 5 draws. It's their longest unbeaten run in the league since the late 1800s. It's an extraordinary run that Liverpool are on at the moment, and it's that classic case right now. We're in the 50th minute. Every Liverpool player wants the ball.
Yeah, absolutely does. And also as well, the frustration that's growing with like Diaz being in the middle of the park is that he hasn't had a shot yet.
Here's Szoboszlai, got it going early on for Liverpool. Out to the right-hand side, Alexander-Arnold drills it in. Diaz goes for a diving header and just can't quite connect. The ball across the area, drilled across from Alexander-Arnold, so nearly found Luis Diaz, who gamely threw himself at the ball at the far stick, but it only came off the top of his head and went behind for a goal kick. Liverpool 3-0 up.
This is a pleasure. It's a pleasure to watch. When Trent is playing like this and he's zinging balls from left to right, this is a pleasure. I'd pay a lot of money just to be here.
Now, Jason Cundy was saying on the Sports Bar on Tuesday night that Liverpool are boring him to watch.
Well, Jason's got too much time on the back of that motorbike, I think, going from Chelsea to the news building. He's got a little bit of wind in his head. I said it earlier when we was talking with Adrian. It's it's impossible to call this Liverpool team boring. All they do is score 3 or 4 a game, and every time they're winning. What's boring about that? It's probably predictable. I think it's because he's watching this Chelsea team that can't defend and then miss 17 chances a game.
I wanted to ring him up. So were Jose's Chelsea ever boring to watch? Jay's back with Jamie O'Hara on the game day phone-in at 5:30 tonight on Talksport. Liverpool fans, why don't you give Jason a call? Robertson out to the left-hand side for Luis Diaz. We're edging towards the end of the 7 minutes minimum that were added on at the end of this first half. And Liverpool still in possession in the Ipswich half, as they have been practically the whole time. Szoboszlai looking for Salah, down to the byline, pulls it back. McAllister running away from goal, takes the touch. It's curled towards goal by Szoboszlai, and that was so close to number 4 from the Hungarian midfielder. Just caressed it with his left foot from the right-hand side of the box, and that can't have missed the far post by much. 3-0.
It's a really good play down that right-hand side from Mo Salah, giving Leif Davies a torrid time in his first half. Cuts the ball back into McAllister, and he can't really get it under control, but with that break of touch, it comes to Szoboszlai on a really tight angle on his left-hand side. Just opens up his left foot, tries to bend it into the far post, and just goes wide of the post.
Whistle's gone for half-time. A first half of total authority from Liverpool as they lead Ipswich by 3-0. Dominic Szoboszlai got things going around the 10-minute mark with a left-footed shot drilled into the bottom corner. Mo Salah, well, of course he was going to score, he always does, and he got the second from a tight angle not long after. Cody Gakpo on the spot after Walton could only push out an effort from Szoboszlai late on in the half. Ipswich problems compounded by a serious-looking injury to Wes Burns in the first half. They're going to have to stand by to repel borders in the second half, I think, Ipswich Town, because this could get worse. Half-time at Anfield on Talksport. Liverpool 3, Ipswich Town 0.
And we'll have the second half live. Troy is enjoying the Liverpool performance. Ipswich fans are not. Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0. It's half-time here at the Vitality as well, alongside me, Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0. The goal scored by Justin Cliver in the 10th minute, and it was basically due to Forest standing off and allowing him to shoot. He picked up the ball midway inside his own half, ran over halfway, looked for options. No defenders coming to challenge him, so when he was 25 yards out, invited to shoot by the whole of the crowd, he did so and picked out the bottom right-hand corner. Sells after that made good saves from Christie's vicious drive, and also a good effort by Semenya. At the other end, for all of Forest's efforts, only one by Ryan Yates from the edge of the penalty area forced Kepa into any sort of save at all. The referee's performance has been the most interesting talking point. He's booked players for non-bookable offences, not booked others where they should have been booked. Basically, Craig Pawson's had a nightmare, but Justin Cliver hasn't, and his goal means at half-time it's Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
And just hit half-time in the game at Molineux. Here's Adam Bridge and Perry Groves.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 0 at half-time. A chance of Peach really to be in front in this game. Sarabia with a volley after a great run by Semedo down the right-hand side. He should have done better as he fired over. And Havertz with a really good opportunity from 8 yards out that he put straight at the legs of Jose Sarr after a brilliant cross from Trossard. The big story, though, as we approached half-time, the sending off of Miles Lewis-Skelly, a straight red card from referee Michael Oliver, Arsenal's 4th of this Premier League season, after it was a breakaway from an Arsenal corner. Doherty was leading the run. He was about 5 or 6 yards outside the Wolves box at the time, and Skelly hacked him down, and in the view of the referee Michael Oliver, who went straight to his pocket for the red card, it was serious foul play. It was backed up by VAR. Here is Perry Groves.
I'm going to try obviously be very subjective, but I've looked at it and that's a different angle. That's one of the most ridiculous sending off I think I've seen, because it's a trip from Lewis Skelly. Everybody in the stadium took a breath, didn't they, Ad? Everybody went, what? Couldn't believe it, and they're going to try and justify it some way. They might say serious foul play. It isn't. He's actually tripped him up. It's a professional foul. He should be yellow carded. I think that the VAR down in England, he's frightened of Michael Oliver, because Michael Oliver is higher up in the refereeing hierarchy, and he should be saying, just go and have a look at it just to make sure you think it's what you think you've seen, because I'm absolutely amazed. If that's the sending off, then the game's gone. It's not a straight leg tackle, it's not a studs up tackle, it's a trip.
And that is how it stands at half-time. Arsenal are down to 10 men for the second half. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
It's not like Arsenal fans to whine about a red card, but maybe Perry's got a point. He's watched it. We haven't. Let's take his word for it. Meantime, let's get half-time at St Mary's. Alex Crook.
Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. The home side took a shock lead in the 10th minute. James Bree with a cross from a right-hand side. Jan Bednarek, who'd stayed up for a previous free kick, planted his header beyond Dubravka and into the top corner. That lead lasted just 16 minutes. Newcastle scored twice in 4 minutes to turn the first half around. Alexander Isak converted from the penalty spot after a VAR check and rightly decided that Isak had been tripped on the edge of the 6-yard box by Joe Aribo. And then 4 minutes later, Isak again racing onto a brilliant through ball from Jacob Murphy. His first touch was sublime to get the ball out from under his feet. His second to side foot in off the post was equally brilliant. Newcastle could have extended their lead. Bruno Guimaraes saw his shot hit the inside of the post, and Isak denied a first half hat-trick by an excellent save with the legs by Alex McCarthy. The closest Southampton got to getting back on level terms right at the end of the half. Carl Walker-Peters with the header wide. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2.
And half-time at Brighton as well. Alfie Reynolds.
Brighton 0, Everton 1. Illiman Ndiaye's penalty giving David Moyes' side the lead. What a start to his second tenure so far. It was Joel Veltman who was penalised for a handball as he deliberately diverted it behind for a corner, given after the ref went to the pitch side monitor. Now, the home fans weren't happy. They felt Veltman was pushed before that. I'm not so sure about that, and either way, a moment of madness from the fullback. And Everton will be especially glad because early in the half, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he limped off. It looked like a hamstring injury. Could be a big blow. Half-time, though, Brighton 0, Everton 1.
Let's rattle around the grounds in the Championship to the Stadium of Light. Graham Courtney.
Yeah, where it's Sunderland 0, Plymouth 0. Don't be fooled by the scoreline. This has been a really, really good game. Best chance, that actually came after 22 minutes for Plymouth. Gift by the Sunderland keeper, Anthony Patterson. He's dropped a clanger, not for the first time. Scuffed his clearance out to the Plymouth midfielder, Adam Randall. He's about midway inside the Sunderland half. Tried to lob the keeper, but you know what? Patterson was so lucky. Randall underclubbed it. Went straight back to Patterson. But you know what? The 800 Argyle fans, they'll have enjoyed that on their 16-hour round trip on a coach. Sunderland 0, Plymouth 0.
And it's half-time at Ashton Gate. Lawrence Mora.
Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1. Death taxes and Scott Twine from a free kick as he whipped the ball Beckham-esque over the visitors' wall and into the net. The equaliser came from an ex-City favourite, Andy Vyman. He's scored more than 50 goals during his time here in BS3. Well, he tapped home from just a few yards out after Maktar Gay's header had bounced off the post. All to play for in the second half. Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1.
It's a home banker at the Hawthorns, Dave Rowe.
West Brom 4, Portsmouth 0. Uneventful for 25 minutes, and a big mistake by Pompey keeper Schmidt, who helped an Alex Mowat shot into the net. The visitors then collapsed defensively. Grady Diangana made it 2 after another keeper error. He then played in Jeb Wallace for the third before Diangana broke the offside trap to grab his second. Albion in total control. West Brom 4, Portsmouth 0.
Half-time at Deepdale in the Championship, Matt Jones.
And it's Preston 1, Middlesbrough 0 at the break. Stefan Tordarson scoring his first goal in English football to separate the two teams, and it was a lovely strike as well, getting down the left wing before cutting in on his right foot and bending a shot around the defender, around the goalkeeper and in at the far post. Bad news for Middlesbrough though is that Latte Lath limped off injured in the 11th minute. He has been subject of a transfer bid this month. Well, that could be something that scuppers it. It is at the break, Preston 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Going to bring you all the half-times very shortly, but let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. Applies to match odds. 90 market sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
So our live exclusive Premier League commentary on Talksport is Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0 at half-time. Ipswich to come back and win. Unlikely, 500 to 1. Liverpool to win 6-0 is 6 to 1. Or if you fancy Ipswich to be the next team to score, that's 4 to 1. That odds update, all thanks to Betfair. 18 plus. Be gambleaware.org.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. Applies to match odds. 90 market sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
And let's get a quick update in the T20 that's live on Talksport 2 right now. Nick Allaby.
India 76 for 4 in the 9th over, chasing 166 to win. Carstairs 2, Wooden Archer 1 each. India okay on run rates, but if England can keep taking wickets, we will have a game on our hands. India 76 for 4 in the 9th over, chasing 176 to win. Live coverage continues on Talksport 2.
I've just seen the Miles Lewis Skelly red card. It's never a red card in a gazillion years. Never a red card. More to come on that, I'm sure. And the half-time's coming next on Talksport.
Game Day Live on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games, available with no contract, on now. Like Man City versus Chelsea, live today. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
New at McDonald's, the barbecue ranch stack.
Oh, it's ranch?
Ranch?
It's creamy, tangy, garlicky, herby, oniony.
Yeah.
And paired with barbecue sauce, it's
The barbecue ranch stack. Prepare to non-stop think about it. Until 11th of Feb, served from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Participating restaurants only.
January can be the Monday of months. You didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, you're back at work, and it's the coldest season of the year. But Screwfix's New Year deals will help beat the January blues. Brighten up and get 10% off selected LAP floodlights. Get organised and save £10 on the Stanley Deep Pro Organiser. Now $16.99. Screwfix have everything you need for the new year. On the app, online or in-store. Offer in 2nd of Feb. T's and C's apply.
We all fantasise about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in and drink up. Village Hotels, 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Want a day off deciding what to eat? Sit back. Relax and let us do the thinking for you. And the cooking and the cleaning. From salmon fillet Mondays to fish and chips Fridays. IKEA family members can try a different £3 dish of the day every weekday in store. IKEA, the wonderful everyday. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Find out more at ikea.co.uk.
At Betfair, we're about finding different ways to play. Like with our 90-minute guarantee. We've all been there. The clock ticks over into 90 minutes, and then a speculative cross into the box ricochets off a knee and goes in, ruining your bet. But with Betfair's 90-minute guarantee, if your bet is winning at 90 minutes or full time, we pay out. Betfair. Play different.
Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Game Day Live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Game Day. Hear the weekend's biggest Premier League action. The big guns are out. Game Day Live on Talksport.
This is Game Day.
Half-time classifieds.
Well, it was a late finish at Liverpool, so we're waiting for the second half to start. Let's bring you the half-times and latest scores. Premier League, Bournemouth 1, Forest 0. Second half underway here at the Vitality. Brighton 0, Everton 1. Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0. Second half commentary to come. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Wolves 0, 10-man Arsenal 0. City, Chelsea's at 5:30. In the Championship, 3 results. Luton 0, Millwall 1. Norwich 5, Swansea 1. Stoke 0, Oxford 0. Half-times, Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1. Cardiff 0, Derby 0. Coventry 1 up on Watford. Preston lead Middlesbrough 1-0. Goalless QPR Sheffield Wednesday and goalless Sunderland Plymouth. West Brom 4, Portsmouth 0. 2 results from League 1. Cambridge 3, Mansfield 2 and Huddersfield 0, Bolton 1. Half-times, Barnsley 0, Stevenage 0. Burton Albion 3, Rotherham 1. Charlton 0, Shrewsbury 0. Exeter 0, Blackpool 3. Orient 1, Reading 0. Lincoln 2, Posh 0. Stockport 2, Crawley 0. Wigan 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Jamie Carragher's son with his first ever goal. Wickham 0, Northampton 0. League 2 full-times, Bradford 3, Walsall 0. MK Dons 0, Wimbledon 0. Those were full-times. These are half-times into the second half. Barrow 1, Grimsby 0. Cheltenham 1, Salford 0. Chesterfield 0, Port Vale 1. Colchester 0, 10-man Morecambe 0, Crewe 0, Accrington 1, Doncaster 0, Harrogate 0, Fleetwood 0, Carlisle 1, Notts County 0, Bromley 0, Tranmere 1, Gillingham 1, National League, Aldershot 0, Tamworth 0, Altrincham 1, Forest Green 0, Barnet 1, Maidenhead 0, Boston 1, York 1, Dagenham 0, Southend 1, Ebbsfleet 0, Braintree 1, Fylde 0, Wealdstone 0, Gateshead 0, Oldham 1, Hartlepool 0, 10-man Woking 0, Rochdale 0, Yeovil 0, Solihull Moors 0, Halifax 1 and Sutton 0, Eastleigh 0. WSL result, Villa 2, Man City 4. Women's Championship, Blackburn Sunderland's at 5:30. And in the William Hill Scottish Premiership, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 2 is the latest. Celtic Dundee was postponed. Hearts leading Kilmarnock 1-0. Ross County 0, Hibs 1. Motherwell lead 1-0 at St Johnstone. In the Championship, Airdrie 2, Dunfermline 0. Ayr United 2, Partick Thistle 0. Livingston 2, Hamilton 0. Queen's Park 1, Morton 0. And Wraith 0, Falkirk 1. William Hill Scottish League 1, it's now Alloa 1, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1. Annan Athletic against Montrose only just kicked off. It was a 4 o'clock start. Queen of the South 1, Dumbarton 1, Stenhousemuir 0, Cove Rangers 3, and Arbroath Kelty Hearts was called off. And there's Scottish League 2, Clyde 0, Elgin 0. In fact, the game's at Clyde, East 5-4 far, and the Spartans are goalless. Stirling leading Bonnyrigg Rose by 3 goals to 0. Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0. This could get ugly. Live and exclusive on Talksport, second half, with former Premier League captain Troy Deeney alongside Ian Danter.
Thanks, Adrian. Hope he doesn't mean us. Ipswich have made a change at the start of the second half, and it's a change at left back. Poor old Leif Davis must have twisted blood down there in the dressing room, because there's a straight swap at fullback. Connor Townsend is on in Leif Davis's place. Liverpool have made no changes at half-time, and what commentators do at half-time in games like this, it may feel cruel, but you're looking at record score lines for teams against opposition. Liverpool's record win against Ipswich was back in the early 60s when they won 6-0 here at Anfield. They also won 6-0 at Portman Road in the 2001-2 season, having won 5-0 here. Now, forward come Liverpool at the start of the second half with Luis Diaz into the box, left-hand side, pulls it back from the byline. Can he find a teammate? It won't make its way through to Gakpo, because Calvin Phillips managed to block the pass and send it out of play for a throw-in down the left-hand side to Liverpool, who lead 3-0, and we're looking for a fourth in the first minute of the second half, Troy Deeney.
Oh, just the transition again. It's just so quick. It's so decisive with what they do. Great pass from McAllister. He could have gave it to Diaz early. Chose to go to Robertson to allow for the rest of the Liverpool players to get on the pitch. As soon as he gave it to Diaz, goes into the box, goes past Tuanzebe. Unfortunately, like he's not there. Drops a shoulder, flicks it back to Gakpo, and really good recovery run from Calvin Phillips. But again, we're looking down, and we're 22 seconds into the second half, and it's going to be the same pattern, unfortunately, for this Ipswich team.
And here is Salah giving Townsend a first look at things. Nutmegs him, finds Soboslai across the face of goal. No one could tuck it in. It was all Ipswich players back there in front, but straight away Salah welcoming Connor Townsend to the game, megging him down the right-hand side of the box for Liverpool. And here he is again at the right-hand corner. Mo Salah coming infield now, whips a deep ball to the far post. He was looking for Gakpo, but it's overhit behind for a goal kick. So Liverpool, Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah, Soboslai, Gakpo and Diaz. For Ipswich, Walton the keeper. It's now Tuanzebe, O'Shea, Greaves and Townsend, Morsey and Phillips, Johnson, who came on for the stricken Burns in the first half, Hutchinson, Philogene and Delap. And in that 5-0 win that Liverpool had here in the Premier League in 2002, Darren Bent played, Danny Murphy played, Matt Holland played, all Talksport alumni involved in that game. We've got a goal somewhere at the start of the second half, and it's at St Mary's in the Premier League for Alex Crook.
And it's the away fans celebrating once more. 6 minutes into the second half, Southampton 1, Newcastle 3. Shambolic defending from the home side to allow Sandro Tonali to race in completely unmarked in behind their back four, and it's a really cool finish beyond McCarthy and into the bottom corner. Southampton 1, Newcastle 3. Should be game over.
Memories of that disappointing home performance against Bournemouth live on Talksport last Saturday, just drifting into the distance for Newcastle United with that big win that they're getting at Southampton. Liverpool 3-0 up here, 3 minutes into the second half on Talksport. Burton Albion 4, Rotherham 1 in League One. JJ McKiernan gets a 4 for the Brewers. Barnet 2-0 up on Maidenhead in the National League. Cody Gakpo for Liverpool, level with the edge of the Ipswich penalty area, down the left with Liverpool all in red, attacking the Kop as they love to do in the second half. The Kop away to our right from our vantage point high up in the main stand here at Anfield. Gravenberch has the ball in the centre of the Ipswich half, and there's nobody behind him other than the goalkeeper Allison. Ipswich hemmed in their own defensive third as Alexander-Arnold picks it up, right hand side, finds Mo Salah. Salah back in field via Alexander-Arnold to Ibrahima Konate, into the feet of McAllister, tried to fire it into the feet of Szoboszlai at the edge of the area, but hit too strongly even for the Hungarian. But as Philogene tried to race clear, across came Alexander-Arnold with a good defensive challenge to put it out for an Ipswich throw, 3-0.
The difficulty for Ipswich is, as that ball goes into Philogene there, he's 25, 30 yards out from his own goal. He would have to run past 5 Liverpool players and do a 70 yards with the ball before anyone could get to him, for him to even get a shot off. So it's a real difficult situation for Philogene and the wide players and the attacking players for Ipswich to even showcase what they can and can't do, because at this moment in time they're basically 11 defenders.
3-0 here to Liverpool. Championship goal at Deepdale, Matt Jones.
It's Preston 1, Middlesbrough 1. This is a brilliant goal. A lovely ball round the corner from Doak, finds the goal scorer Delano Bergzorg. He leaves 2 defenders and the goalkeeper on their backside before slotting home in front of the travelling fans. Preston 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Liverpool fans will be happy to hear that Ben Doak's in good form. Corner here at Anfield to Liverpool as Twanzebe is forced to toe poke the ball behind under pressure from Alexis McAllister. Szoboszlai goes across to that far corner where the Kenny Dalglish stand meets the Kop to spot the ball down. It'd be a right-footed in-swinger from him. The 2 centre-halves, Konate and Van Dijk, just lurking near the penalty spot. Robertson at the edge of the D, waiting for any bits and pieces that might ricochet out his way. In comes the corner from Szoboszlai, headed out by Greaves. Does drop for Robertson, tries to head it back out to the left wing, and then it goes into the box. Gakpo trying to roll his foot on the ball. Ipswich do bring it clear, and Delap tried to go on the outside of the defender, just toe-poked it straight out of play. Not enjoying his afternoon too much out there, Liam Delap. No sign yet of Julio Enciso, the loan signing who arrived yesterday at Ipswich on loan from Brighton for the rest of the campaign. Liverpool 3-0 up, 6 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport. Arsenal, remember, 0-0 but down to 10 men against Wolves. We'll check back in there shortly. They don't want to lose any further ground on Liverpool. As the ball swung in by Szoboszlai, looking for the run of Diaz, but just too close to Christian Walton, who could just pounce on top of the ball. Another goal at the Vitality in the Premier League. Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 2, Forest 0, goal for Dango Ouattara, scored last week at Newcastle. He's got another today, cross on the left-hand side, and at the back post, he won the header above Murillo. It's Bournemouth 2, Forest 0.
Andoni Iraola has got to be up there, along with the likes of his opposite number today, Nuno Espirito Santo, for Manager of the Year, with what he's doing with Bournemouth. Christian Walton been pressurised twice with a ball back to him inside his own 6-yard box, and both times it was Mo Salah who was trying to get close to him, but Ipswich do get the ball downfield, and Delap is in behind Konate, running into the area left-hand side. Konate nudges into him, down goes Delap. The Ipswich fans behind the goal to our left howl for a penalty kick, but it's waved away by the referee. Delap gets to his feet, Ipswich have it again. Jaden Philogene down this left-hand side for Ipswich in their first choice blue strip today, gets to the byline left-hand side, swings across in, only one player in the box, and that was Ben Johnson. And Delap, having gone down for that penalty, is just moving a little awkwardly, hurting his right foot or his right leg in that challenge with Konate, and he's just limping around awkwardly just outside the penalty area. Meantime, Ipswich coming forward with Morsey, infield for Calvin Phillips. He spots Philogene, left-hand corner of the box, floats it out to the new signing. Philogene wants to go for goal. It's struck against Andy Robertson, cleared away by Liverpool. Diaz trying to keep hold of the ball whilst he was on the deck. How on earth did he manage that? He was on the deck, he had 2 players around him and still managed to get back to his feet and keep possession. That's freaky. Ball's gone back to Christian Walton. Another goal at the Hawthorns for Dave Rowe.
West Brom 5, Portsmouth 0. John Swift scoring for the first time since last April. Great ball by Furlong to the left-hand side, picking out Johnston. Johnston then to the edge of the penalty area, and Swift slammed it home. West Brom 5, Portsmouth 0.
Right then, Lee the Baggy, if you're listening, ring Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy and tell them that Tony Mowbray doesn't know anything about the game, like he did with me years ago, because he happened to sell Jason Kumas, your favourite player. The game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy is straight after Adrian's given you a full classified check, and you've heard from some of the headline makers this afternoon. Jamie and Jason will be taking your calls here on Talksport from 5:30 tonight. Free kick to Liverpool, just shy of the halfway line. 8 minutes gone in the second half. They lead Ipswich Town by 3-0, and there's another goal at the Vitality. Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 3, Forest 0. The second goal of the afternoon for Justin Kluivert, and I'll tell you what, he's better than his old man. This is a mesmeric goal involving great foot movement, involving great body shape inside the box. It's all kicking off on the pitch with some of the Forest substitutes coming on, but Kluivert's goal is a 1 in a million effort. It really is, and Forest have been well beaten here on Nuno's 51st birthday. Bournemouth 3, Forest 0.
Happy birthday. And
did he just say that Justin Kluivert was better than Patrick Kluivert? Like, I love the Moose.
Yeah, he did.
Well, that's
say
silly.
That. Here comes a cross from the left-hand side for Liverpool, looking for the run of Soboslai, but it was claimed by Christian Walton. Yes, that I do believe that went out on live radio. Yeah,
okay.
But, you know...
I hope Adrian's just giving him a little flick in the other ear.
Do you think?
I hope so.
He might have done.
I hope so.
Knowing Adrian as I do, he might have... Maybe a hard stare, maybe, a nice Paddington hard stare went the Moose's way after that, at the very least. I've just been told that Jason Cundy is running scared of Liverpool. He's not doing the phone-in tonight. It's Jermaine Pennant,
you have to remember,
Liverpool player.
Chelsea are on at 5:30. That's why, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Cundy shows his real alliances.
So it's Jermaine Pennant alongside Jamie O'Hara. We've got a goal in the Championship, an opener at the Stadium of Light. Graham Courtney.
Didn't see this. Sunderland 0, Plymouth Argyle 1. And it's a simple case where Anthony Patterson's got to clear a ball, and he didn't, and it's dropped really kindly to Ryan Hardy, and he's shoved it in from close range. Sunderland 0, Plymouth Argyle 1.
A reminder that Plymouth's last league win was on the 5th of November. They lead by a goal to 0. The bottom side of the Championship at 4th place Sunderland. That's where they were at the start of the day. So 3-0 here to Liverpool, 3-0 to Bournemouth, 3-1 to Newcastle. Everton are ahead at Brighton, and it's still Wolves 0, Arsenal. And let's check in at Molineux, in actual fact, with this game 3-0 here to Liverpool. They're pulling further clear of Arsenal as things stand. Adam Bridge.
They are still Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Declan Rice with the only decent effort this half. He stung the hands of Jose Sarr away to our left-hand side. Half-time change for Arsenal was seen Calafiori come on to replace Nwaneri as they try to shore things up. And actually, based on the first 10 minutes of the second half, it looks like Arsenal have got the extra man, but they haven't. They're the ones who are down to 10, and it remains Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
Well, he might be better than his dad, but his dad didn't have VAR to worry about. Back to the Vitality, Ian Abrahams.
No, I hate VAR. Bournemouth 2, Forest 0. Kluivert's wonder goal's been disallowed because Ouattara, who passed the ball back to him right at the end, was standing in an offside, but only just offside, only a little bit offside, ref. Oh dear, Bournemouth 2, Forest 0.
Goals as they're ruled out on Talksport this Saturday afternoon on Game Day Live. Ian Dancer and Troy Deeney at Anfield, where Liverpool are just passing the ball around. They're just casually keeping Ipswich at arm's length as Alexander Arnold swirls the ball into the ball. Oh, a mess between Walton and Tuanzebe and Johnson, and they get away with it, Ipswich, as both players went to ground inside the 6-yard box, but the ball diverted away from any red shirts in the box there.
Excellent ball from Trent with his left foot this time. Cuts in from the right hand side onto his left foot, just puts a lovely little delicate ball into that back post. Keeper thinks he's got it. Tuanzebe doesn't want to leave it because behind him is Cody Gakpo to tap in for his second of the game, and they just about get away with it. But again, Liverpool, this is why Cundy's saying that they're boring. They're just dominating, they're suffocating, and at any moment they can score again, and there's nothing that Ipswich can do about it.
Kanate for Liverpool got a Championship goal elsewhere in just a moment, but meantime Alexander Arnold, right hand corner of the penalty area, has Salah in support, looking at drop the shoulder on Connor Townsend, works it back into the area for McAllister. Ipswich win it back. There is a goal at the Vitality again. Maybe this one does count. Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 3, Forest 0. It's Dango Ouattara this time has the second goal, and he's got some brilliant skills. Good skills with his feet for a big man. On the left-hand side, cut one way, then the other. Defenders didn't know what he was doing. Smart finish inside the far post. Sells with no chance. It's Bournemouth 3, Forest 0. Forest have been a shambles second half.
I'm willing to bet that Dango Ouattara is better than his dad. Ipswich coming forward at 3-0 down. Jayden Philogene into the area. Townsend on the overlap, plays it across the face of goal, but the Liverpool volley clear. A goal at the Stadium of Light. Graham Courtney.
Yeah, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Sunderland 1, Plymouth Argyle 1. And the goal machine for Sunderland, Wilson Isidore, and he's hammered it in from the edge of the D. Terrific goal. Sunderland 1, Argyle 1.
Ipswich have won a corner. They're claiming for handball, actually, as the ball was sent in for the right-hand corner of the area of the Ipswich players, but Michael Salisbury's not giving them much attention for that one. So Ipswich have a corner at the Anfield Road end, and the 3,000 Ipswich fans who've made the trek up from Suffolk and across to Anfield still making plenty of noise for their team. These are the sort of trips that they would have been looking forward to as much as any, having got back into the Premier League for the first time in a generation. But it's not enjoyable at the present moment as we approach the hour.
Travelled well though as well, haven't they, dancers? A lot of them here, and they're not giving their team any stick.
Townsend whips the corner kick in, but Robertson heads clear. Amari Hutchinson brings it down 30 yards out, makes space for a shot, and that's the first thing that Allison's had to do all afternoon in the Liverpool goal, and it was a comfortable save low down to his right. Let's update you from the Amex in the Premier League. Talksport's Alfie Reynolds.
Well, 59 minutes gone. Brighton 0, Everton 1. Jorginho Ruta, a half-time replacement for Brighton, and it's been much more positive in the second half. They look far more threatening. Matoma flashing a shot just wide, and João Pedro with a blocked effort which looped over. It's all Brighton at the moment as they look for an equaliser. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
Liverpool coming forward on the hour mark on Talksport. Out it goes to Dominic Szoboszlai on the right-hand side, attacking the Kop end. The stadium in full voice, as you can hear around us on Merseyside. Van Dijk goes out to the left-hand side for Cody Gakpo, who darts in field, chips the ball into the area, headed up and away by Greaves, but Konate there again to keep possession for Liverpool. Van Dijk strutting towards the edge of the penalty area. Plays a 1-2 with Andy Robertson. Allison's doing stretching exercises in his own half, just trying to keep himself interested. Out to the right side it goes, and Mo Salah will be doing Pilates in a minute. Here's Alexander Arnold. Oh, nutmegs. Calvin Phillips gets into the area across the face of goal, and it's turned away by the Ipswich defence. Calvin Phillips was back there defending, and they get the ball out of play. Liverpool with a real swagger on at the minute. They lead 3-0. Let's get team news from the 5:30 kickoff at the Etihad in the Premier League. Man City Chelsea reporting there for Talksport. Mickey Gray.
Well, all 3 new signings for Manchester City involved. Omar Mamouche and Abdulkadir Kusanov come straight into the starting 11. Victor Reis is on the bench, and De Bruyne, Diaz and Savinho left out. For Chelsea, 3 changes. Sancho, Fernandes and Colwell come back into the starting 11. Tosson, Dewsbury Hall and Neto all move to the bench. Manchester City against Chelsea.
Thanks, Mickey. Regular updates on that game with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant on the game day phone-in straight after our coverage here from Anfield, and when Adrian's giving you the full classified check. And you've heard from some of the headline makers. We'll get down to the tunnel here at full time, and hopefully you'll hear from Arne Slot or Kieran McKenna, or maybe both, by the time we get to about 5:30 on Talksport. Liverpool 3-0 up and in control. Still over 70% possession as Alexander Arnold tries to swing it across from the right-hand side. Townsend didn't know where it was. It hit him, went straight up in the air, and he lost the flight of it. Alexander Arnold flicks it impudently in field, looking for Gakpo, but it goes out of play for an Ipswich throw. Cardiff City lead Derby County by a goal to 0. That's 20th against 21st at the start of play. Callum Robinson. Derby have lost their last 5 in the league. Cardiff 7 unbeaten under Omar Risa. That's a big goal in the Championship towards the bottom of the table at the Cardiff City Stadium. You're just listening to Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on Now, like Manchester City against Chelsea, live today. Search now Sports. I don't think I heard Omar Marmoushi's name in Mickey's update on that Manchester City team news. I heard Paul Hawksby in the week say that's a perfect name for Del Boy to use in Only Fools and Horses. Paul and Andy, Hawksby and Jacobs back on Monday on Talksport. Alexander-Arnold tries to fire an across on the right-hand side, but Ipswich defend it well again, and it's cleared downfield. Adrian Durham, cover your ears. Lincoln City 4, Peterborough United 1. An own goal from Cian Hayes this time extends the Imps lead. It's going to be changes for Liverpool in just a moment. May well be Harvey Elliott getting a run out as he's just putting his red number 19 top on. Here's Dominic Szoboszlai, who scored the first this afternoon. Well, he went for goal from the centre of the half. Oh, Marmoush starts. I didn't miss that because we had something in my ear. So Omar Marmoush is starting for Manchester City against Chelsea. Here's Ryan Gravenberch back to halfway for Ibrahima Konate. Plays it into the centre circle for Virgil van Dijk, who's got options left and right. Elects to play a short pass forward to Luis Diaz. Elliott's going to be on sooner rather than later for Liverpool for their first change of the afternoon. Alexander-Arnold teases it down the right-hand side of the penalty area for Salah, but he doesn't get the drop on the defender on this occasion, but he has it again, tries to roll it in field for Konate, showed too much of that to Jaden Philogene. Philogene trying to get away down the left-hand side, but back comes Mo Salah. He made it look like Jaden Philogene was running through treacle the way he got back at him and stole the ball. And it will be a double change for Liverpool. Elliott and Darwin Nunez, Troy Deeney's favourite, coming on for Cody Gakpo and Dominic Szoboszlai. I'm pulling your leg, but I know you want.
No, I'm a
Nunez
big fan. I'm a big fan. I think there's something in there. I really do. I think if he could just calm down in front of goal, he'll be all right.
Cross from Alexander Armstrong. There's number 4 for Liverpool. Cody Gakpo gets his second of the game. The cross from Alexander-Arnold was just begging to be headed home, and inside the 6-yard box, right in front, Cody Gakpo duly obliged, and Ipswich are having another sorry day in the Premier League. Conceded 6 last weekend at home. They've now conceded 4 at Anfield, and there's still plenty of time to go, and Darwin Nunez licking his lips, ready on the touchline to come on as a change for the Reds. But Gakpo is now on a hat-trick as it's Liverpool 4, Ipswich 0.
You just said Gakpo's coming off, didn't you? That's going to be his last bit of involvement. But again, I said it earlier in the first half, when you see Trent Alexander-Arnold playing like this, you're willing to pay hundreds of pounds just to come and watch this game. Honestly, the ball gets played out to him, he's 20-25 yards out on the right-hand side, and he just puts it into a lovely area inside the penalty area, just beyond the penalty spot between the back line and the goalkeeper, and says, please, go and head me. And Gakpo decides to go and head me.
There's a possible offside being checked by VAR. It didn't appear offside. It looks onside to it. Jacob Greaves is definitely playing the player onside from the cross. There is no way they're going to give this as offside. The VAR checking goal picture has come up on the video screens here. Meanwhile, let's check in at Molineux, because of course with this scoreline, Liverpool comfortably ahead. Arsenal have got to try and keep pace. Last time we were there, they were down to 10 men but still goalless. Here's Adam Bridge.
Yeah, it's still that way. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0, and Wolves, it took an hour to get their first shot on target from Hwang. They've now had a couple. That one was saved by Raya at the second attempt, and then Cunha with a almost slow motion effort that looked like it was floating into the top corner. Raya tipped it round, and then from the resultant corner the ball fell to Cunha again 8 yards out, and he bounced one just wide of the left hand upright. Havertz has flicked a header goalwards up the other end, but that was just over the crossbar. 23 minutes to go here. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
So Wataru Endo is also going to come on for Ryan Gravenberch. It's a triple change in actual fact for Liverpool. So Nunez, Elliott and Endo are coming on. Szoboszlai, Gakpo and Gravenberch are coming off. It is a goal for Liverpool. It is 4-0, although it only still says 3-0 on the Jumbotron screens here. Triple change made. Let's check in at the Vitality whilst we're waiting for play to restart here. Talksport Ian Abrahams.
19 minutes to go still. Bournemouth 3, Forest 0. Clive at the first half, 2 from Ouattara in the second half, and Bournemouth nearly had a fourth. I thought they might have had a fourth. Semenyo rampaging forward down the left-hand side and played it across, but in the end the shot was blocked and the chance went away. Bournemouth 3, Forest 0.
And let's update you from St Mary's on Talksport with Alex Crook.
18 minutes to play here. It's still Southampton 1, Newcastle 3. Newcastle almost had a fourth goal. Joe Linton denied by a brilliant block inside the penalty area. It was a move that started on the halfway line with Joe Linton. It would have been quite some goal, but he was denied. Southampton 1, Newcastle 3.
Van Dijk for Liverpool, leading by 4-0 now on Talksport. Feeds it into Alexander-Arnold, shaped to shoot from 35 yards out, but then played it out to the right-hand side for Mo Salah. Elliott gets his first touch, floats a long ball out to the left-hand side. Brought down on that left-hand side. Knocked in field, and Konate will now pick it up 30 yards out. He might have thought about shooting for goal there. Instead, Alexander-Arnold has it, gives it back in field to Harvey Elliott. Elliott with a diagonal ball up to the far post, beyond Luis Diaz and behind for a goal kick. Let's check in on Talksport at the Amex Stadium in the Premier League. Alfie Reynolds.
Brighton 0, Everton 1. It is all Brighton in this second half. Attack against defence, and Ruta with an excellent chance just a moment ago. His shot going narrowly wide. Everton defending resolutely as they try and hold on to the lead, which came from Ndai's first half penalty. It's Brighton 0, Everton 1.
The championship goal has gone in at the Stadium of Light. Graham Courtney.
Yeah, complete turnaround. Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 1. Ball played into the Argyle 6-yard box, and there was Trey Hume with the ball bouncing around, stabbed it in from close range. Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 1.
So Sunderland have turned it around in the championship. Red card at Molineux, another one. Adam Bridge.
Yeah, Wolves now down to 10 men. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Both sides with 10 then. João Gomez was booked early on in this game, and he's just got a second yellow card for a foul at the edge of the penalty area. Michael Oliver, no hesitation. 2 yellows brandished, and João Gomez is on his way. We've just got over 20 minutes left here. It's now 10 aside. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
Wigan 2, Bristol Rovers 0 in League One. Johnny Smith. And in the championship, Sheffield Wednesday lead at informed QPR by 1-0. QPR won their last 4 in the championship, and the Owls with no one in 4 lead through Michael Smith at Loftus Road. Hearts 3, Kilmarnock 2 in Scotland. In the cricket at the moment, live on Talksport 2, it's the second T20 International in Chennai, and it's India 119 for 6, so they need 47 runs to win with 6 overs remaining against England. Ball by ball coverage of that over on Talksport 2 right now. And don't forget, tomorrow the NFL, AFC and NFC championship games to decide who goes to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. You've got the Commanders at the Eagles and the Bills at the Chiefs, and our coverage starts from 7 p.m. tomorrow night on Talksport 2. Cardiff 2, Derby County 1. Lars Jørgen Salverson gets a goal back for Derby, and a goal in the championship elsewhere. This is gone in at Ashton Gate. Lawrence Mora.
Bristol City 2, Blackburn 1. Naki Wells off the bench to score and put City back in front. Really good left-footed finish, although you are wondering about the goalkeeper. It's beaten him at his near post. Bristol City 2, Blackburn 1.
Liverpool 4, Ipswich 0 here at Anfield with 20 minutes to go. A rare foray forward for Ipswich. Delap tried to combine with Philogene, but again, that pure thoroughbred that is Trent Alexander-Arnold quickly goal side to snuff out any potential danger. So as you've just heard from Adam, 1 red card apiece at Molineux, 0-0 between Wolves and Arsenal. Newcastle 3-1 up at Southampton, Everton 1-0 up at Brighton, and Bournemouth 3-0 up against Nottingham Forest at the Vitality. Coventry have got a second against Watford, 2-0 they lead, and it's Victor Torp again. 2 for him and 2 for the Sky Blues. And Troy Deeney just sinks into his coat that little bit more.
Frustrating, mate. It's you can't have the build-up of a week that they've had and expect to have a decent performance. Not that they've been great over the last couple of weeks anyway, but with all of this distraction, then expect to go and deliver a performance when everyone thinks that the manager's getting sacked.
1 win in 7 for the Hornets. 03717223344. Get your calls into Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant with the Game Day phone in at 5:30 on Talksport. The score here, Liverpool 4, Ipswich 0. For the latest odds, just head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now, I'm not going to give you odds on Liverpool to win because they're not offering any. Darwin Nunez to score the next goal at 7-2. Liverpool to win 5-0 is priced at 15-8. And an Ipswich win, well, I'll give it to you, 500-1 if you fancy it. That's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90 minutes guarantee. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Ian Danter and Troy Deeney with you at Anfield, where Liverpool have won a corner at the Kop end, down to our right-hand side, and Andy Robertson's gone across to where the Kop meets the main stand to strike it in. Takes it short to Luis Diaz, who's joined him, but the corner kick, maybe the ball was rolling or it was outside the quadrant because the assistant had a problem with it, and so it has to be spotted again by Robertson, who will step back from it. Looks like he's not going to use the short corner option this time of Diaz, who looks like he's drifting into the penalty area now. He is. In it comes from Robertson, into the near post, headed out by Liam Delap, comes out to Alexander-Arnold, who brings the ball down in the centre of the half. He's going to go for goal, and he wasn't far off. Walton was flying to his right-hand side, and that whistle past the angle of post and bar. Stays 4-0 here, but the breakthrough has happened at Molineux. Adam Bridge.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. Calafiori, the half-time substitute, came on following that red card to Miles Lewis-Skelly, and a left-footed ball has come through to him in the penalty. It was half cleared by Wolves, and left-footed, he's poked it home from about 10 yards out. It was a good cross from Martinelli, but Calafiori's done really well with the finish. Just over 15 minutes left here. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1.
It's a big, big goal at Molineux for Arsenal. 10 men against 10 men in that game. There's going to be changes afoot for Ipswich. We're going to see Julio Enciso making his Ipswich debut in a moment. We're also going to see Nathan Broadhead coming on, and possibly George Hurst as well for a triple change for Kieran McKenna, just to get some fresh legs out there, I guess, Troy.
Also try and blood in the new recruit as well, get him to see what he wants him to do, see where his fitness levels are at. I actually think if you was to ask Arnie Slot about a day, this would be perfect. Probably another 5 minutes or so, and then stick the likes of Dan's and a few of the others, Chiesa, get them some minutes. It's a 4-0 win, clean sheet. It's perfect for them.
And here's Van Dijk, who's been strolling around all afternoon with barely a care in the world, it seems.
He won't need a shower, will he? He can just go straight home.
He certainly hasn't got his kit dirty. He hasn't needed to. Salah, right-hand side for Liverpool as they attack the Kop end in this second half. Now it's Harvey Elliott joining him on this near side. Infield it goes to Alexander-Arnold, and across to the aforementioned Van Dijk. Cheltenham 2, Salford 0 in League 2. Jordan Thomas with a second for the Robins. Now Alexis McAllister just taking the game down to walking pace. And again, Ipswich have just got all their outfield players in and around their own 18-yard box. Liverpool looking to cut through them with an incisive pass. And it's Van Dijk floating it out to Harvey Elliott, right-hand corner of the penalty area. Infield to Alexander-Arnold, early ball into the area. Walton's dropped it, but there was Twanzebe just in front of him to clear it away. Goal at Deepdale in the Championship. Here's Matt Jones.
Didn't see this coming. Preston 2, Middlesbrough 1, and it's Emil Rees who's got it. He came on about 10 minutes ago. The substitution was booed because Osmajic was the man who came off. Well, he's shown Paul Heckenbottom what he can do. Turns in the box, fires into the bottom corner. Preston 2, Middlesbrough 1.
4 unbeaten going into today, Preston. Shouldn't forget that, even though Middlesbrough are back in form, having won their first in 4 last time out. Paul Heckenbottom doing a pretty solid job, it seems, so far at Deepdale. Here, Liverpool more than solid against Ipswich. 4-0 up with that triple change coming up for the visitors in just a moment. But meantime, Van Dijk in the centre of the Ipswich half. There's options left or right. Elects to go to his immediate right, and Harvey Elliott. Now Salah in possession down the right-hand side of the box. Gets away from Townsend into the area. Plenty to pull it back to. Endo leaves it for Alexander-Arnold, who hits the angle of post and bar as he swung his right foot at it. And it stays out, and it stays just 4-0.
Unbelievable. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of Trent today. But for Mo Salah, he's got... Doesn't matter if it's Leif Davis or if it's Townsend who they bring on. He's just got them on toast. He's just running at them, running past them. In this situation, he actually just ran through Townsend. Gets to the byline, cuts it back to Endo, who has a little touch just to allow Trent to come onto it. Lovely ball again. Hits the right at top angle, bar and post. He deserves a goal.
Liverpool 4-0 up. Diaz trying to rammed the ball into the penalty area, but Ipswich had enough players back. Well, they had everybody back. Coventry 2, Watford 1. Watford get a goal back with an own goal from Liam Kitching. So Arsenal lead, Liverpool lead, but Forest losing at the Vitality as this triple change comes up. Let's check in on the South Coast at the Vitality with Talksport's Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 3, Forest 0, 10 to play. Just seen Kepa make a really good save from Elanga. More one for the cameras, but he did well to keep it out. Forest, though, look a beaten force here and have taken off Gibbs White. Bournemouth 3, Forest 0.
So whilst the changes are happening, Philogene come off to allow Broadhead to come on. Let's check in at Molineux once again with Talksport's Adam Bridge.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 1 since Calafiori's goal. It's domination now from Arsenal. A change from Wolves. Bellegarde has come on to try and offer a little bit more from them, but Wolves struggling to just get a touch on the ball at the moment. Arsenal keeping it very well, moving it really nicely. Remember, it's 10 against 10 here. Just a quick note on that second yellow for Gomez. It really could have been a red card in its own right. It was worse than what Lewis Skelly got sent off for. It remains Wolves 0, Arsenal 1.
And we'll check in on the South Coast elsewhere at St Mary's. Alex Crook.
83 minutes played here. Southampton 1, Newcastle 3. Alexander Isak at the double in the first half. There won't be a hat-trick this afternoon. He's just been replaced by Joe Willock, much to relief, I would imagine, of a battered and bruised Southampton defence. Yet another defeat for the home side. It's Southampton 1, Newcastle 3.
So the Ipswich changes. Broadhead and Ciso there on. Jaden Philogene has gone off. So too is Amari Hutchinson. Liam Delap has also gone off to allow George Hurst to come on. And Liverpool, well, Troy Dean is a bit of the soothsayer. He called it. Jaden Dans, son of Neil Dans, former Birmingham and Colchester footballer, now a coach in his own right. And Jaden's come on to replace Alexis McAllister as Lincoln go 5-1 up against Peterborough. And the ball's absolutely rifled back to Christian Walton by Calvin Phillips in the Ipswich goal, but he dealt with it well enough. And then really strong challenge from Julio Enciso. His first involvement in the game is to go right studs up in the centre circle. Was that Wataru Endo who he caught in the chest? Not a nice challenge. Endo has stayed down, and referee Michael Salisbury's got a decision to make here about just how reckless that challenge was from the Ipswich substitute.
Just showing the replay there, he could be off, you know. As Konate's just chested it, as he's coming into Endo, he's bouncing and Ciso goes and he kicks him in the chest, but he actually knees him in the face. And I actually think he could be off here. VAR could get involved and get him to have another look at this.
Well, it appears that he has escaped a red. Meantime, another goal at St Mary's. Alex Crook.
And maybe it's not game over. Southampton 2, Newcastle 3. This is an absolute gift. It was a long punt upfield and a really poor header back towards his own goal from Fabian Schär. Latching onto it was Matias Fernandez, and it's a really good finish from him beyond Dubravka. Southampton 2, Newcastle 3.
It was just a yellow card for Enciso back here at Anfield, where Liverpool are 4-0 up on Ipswich. Play yet to restart with Endo still getting treatment, so let's check back in on Talksport Game Day Live at the Amex Stadium. Alfie Reynolds.
Brighton 0, Everton 1. Can Everton hold on? Minte and Hinchelwood, the latest replacements for the home side, who are searching for an equaliser. They've been much better in the second half. Some opportunities, but they haven't found the back of the net. Matoma, João Pedro and Ruta, all with good efforts, but they didn't force a save from Pickford. 9 minutes to go. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
So in the Premier League this Saturday afternoon on Game Day, Bournemouth 3-0 up on Forest. You just heard Everton still lead Brighton by a goal to nil. Liverpool 4-0 up in our commentary game here against Ipswich. Newcastle 3-2 up on Southampton, and Arsenal 1 up at Wolves, both sides down to 10 men. Man City kick off against Chelsea at 5:30. And regular updates on that game into the Game Day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Back underway. Doncaster have taken the lead against Harrogate in League 2. Just one defeat and 5 for Donny, and Harry Clifton's given them the lead. Darwin Nunez for Liverpool, getting down the right-hand side. Got the cross in, but it was well dealt with at the back by Dara O'Shea. Ipswich trying to bring it clear. In steps Jaden Dans, and it breaks for Luis Diaz, who knocks it back for Robertson. Infield for Endo, who's none the worse for wear, having had treatment after being thumped into by Enciso with that early challenge from the new Ipswich loanee. Van Dijk, just over the halfway line. 8 minutes to go on Talksport. Finds Konate. 4-0 Ipswich are trailing by here. And they're just hanging on and waiting for the full-time whistle, are Ipswich Town, and hoping that it doesn't get any worse. They're at home to Southampton next, which you would suggest is a far more important game for their immediate future. There's more changes coming up for Liverpool. Federico Chiesa going to be on in a minute. Meantime, here is Endo playing the ball into Nunez at the edge of the area. Salah, quick feet from him, but it's won back by Nathan Broadhead, who can bring it clear. Goals as they're ruled out again. Let's get back to St Mary's. Alex Crook.
Yeah, it's back to Southampton 1, Newcastle 3, and I did Fabian Schär a bit of a disservice actually. He pulls out of the header at the last minute because he must get a shout to tell him that Mateus Fernandes is in an offside position, so it's quite brilliant for the Newcastle centre-back. The goal is ruled out and it's still Southampton 1, Newcastle 3.
Ball flicked into the area from Liverpool, and Ipswich managed to get the ball clear. Comes out now to Alexander-Arnold. Dans lays it back to Alexander-Arnold, just dinks it back into the area first time with the outside of his right boot, so nearly came off. Trent is having one of those afternoons in a Liverpool shirt. Bournemouth have had one of those afternoons so far. They've got another at the Vitality. Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 4, Nottingham Forest 0. Tavernier from distance with a shot, literally patted down by Matt Sells. Goodness knows what he was doing, put it out of play. Even Troy Deeney now, having been retired for a couple of years, would have snapped this up. Daniel Ouattara did. He has his first Bournemouth hat-trick. It's Bournemouth 4, Forest 0.
Crossing from the left for Ipswich, and a header from Delaus kept out by Allison. A rare foray forward for Ipswich Town. The cross came in from the left-hand side. Stooping header. It was Enciso that got the header in, but it was blocked by not by Enciso, sorry, by George Hurst, who was coming in. But Allison, first thing he's had to do all afternoon, and he kept out the header.
Didn't even see that coming. It was just like Liverpool were waiting. Liverpool have got a little bit lazy.
Diaz now down the left-hand side of the area at the other end of the pitch. Winter corner of Twanzebe. QPR 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Callum Patterson looks to have sealed all 3 points for Sheffield Wednesday down at Loftus Road. You're listening to Liverpool Ipswich on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. And Federico Chiesa is coming on for Liverpool. Just looking to see who's going off.
Diaz.
It is Luis Diaz, who's walking behind the goal. He was just obscured from my vision, walking behind the netting at the Kop end. So Chiesa, there's been some talk of him leaving Anfield in this window because he's not really had that many appearances since joining in the summer. But he's in the box for this corner. Swung in by Robertson. Van Dijk goes up for a header, heads it up in the air high and over the crossbar for an Ipswich goal kick. Fleetwood 1, Carlisle 2. Sam Lavelle puts Cardiff in front at Highbury. Just 1 in 10 for Carlisle, but they look to be heading for 3 points there this afternoon. Ipswich with a ball inside their own penalty area. Phillips swings it out to the left-hand side for Connor Townsend. Immediately set upon by Wataru Endo, but Phillips will play a neat ball into the path of Nathan Broadhead. Broadhead will strike the ball out to the right-hand side and Twanzebe. Now Ben Johnson infield for Enciso. Now he just lays it back to the captain Morsey. Phillips, better football from Ipswich Town with 4 minutes to go as they hold on to the ball for the first time, really getting a string of passes together. Troy Deeney.
Yeah, it looks like the changes for Liverpool have left them a little bit disjointed.
But here's Darwin Nunez caught by Calvin Phillips just ahead of the centre circle as he tried to wriggle clear. St Johnstone 2, Motherwell 1 in Scotland. Remember, we get a full classified check from Adrian Durham just after 5 p.m. here on Talksport this afternoon. Liverpool 4-0 up on Ipswich here on Game Day Live. Oh, there's another goal at the Vitality. Let's get back there straight away. And Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth 5, Forest 0. Bournemouth have gone mad. They've gone absolutely goal-scoring mad. Antoine Semenyo this time, left-hand side onto his right foot, curling into the far corner. Nuno can't wait for his birthday to end and his match to finish. It's Bournemouth 5, Forest 0.
Bournemouth up into 6th as things stand in the Premier League table. Meantime, another goal at the Stadium of Light in the Championship. Talksport's Graham Courtney.
Into time added on, but it's all square here. Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 2, and it's the substitute that has come on, Nathaniel Ogbeta, from 6 yards out. And you know what? It's one of those where the keeper will be looking at that one. He got it all wrong. It's all square. Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 2.
4-0 here to Liverpool. Ball played up to Enciso, who is fouled by Endo, and Ipswich get a rare free kick. In League One, Barnsley have conceded late on at home to Stevenage. Stevenage Borough won their last two against Barnsley, actually, and Dan Kemp looks to have won it again for Stevenage at Oakwell this afternoon. So Bournemouth 5-0 up on Nottingham Forest, who will stay in third. So Newcastle up into fourth by virtue of the win they're getting at Southampton, as you've heard from Alex Crook this afternoon. Liverpool and Arsenal both winning, and we're going to get 5 minutes of additional time once we get to the end of the 90 here. Let's quickly check in at Molineux, see how Arsenal are doing. Are they hanging on to that 1-goal lead? Here's Adam Bridge.
They are a little bit. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. 90 seconds of normal time to play. Aït-Nouri, who's just been substituted, he brought the ball down after a long punt forward, got to the edge of the box, fired a shot, Raya with a save, and then Raya also called into action to deny Mateus Cunha from the edge of the penalty area as well. Wolves are probing, desperately trying to find that equaliser. Remember, it's 10 against 10 here, and it's Wolves 0, Arsenal 1.
Corner to Ipswich that Enciso's going to take in front of the travelling contingent down to our left in the Anfield Road stand. Right-footed in-swinger to come from Enciso, who raises both his arms in the air, swirls in the cross, right in front of goal, and it's in! Great header from Jacob Greaves, a consolation goal, cheered by the Ipswich fans like they've just won the whole shooting match. It's Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1.
What a ball from Enciso, by the way, from the corner. If Trent would have done that, we'd waxing lyrical about it. Low, flat, right across the edge of the 6-yard box, straight into an area. Just watching Virgil van Dijk losing his head at everybody here, but it's a great ball into the box. Two players missed the header. It looks like Konate and Virgil to an extent missed the header. It's a great header from Greaves, and it's great for these travelling fans down to our left-hand side. Scarves going everywhere. This is what the Premier League's all about. Well done to Ipswich. Too little too late though.
Well, you never know what goal difference might mean come the end of the season. They've got one back, Ipswich Town, and remember, because Wolves are losing at home to Arsenal, means both of those teams will stay on 16 points either side of the dotted line in the drop zone. I think Portsmouth have got a late goal at West Brom. We'll check on that in a moment for a consolation there, but Ipswich have a consolation here as we move into those 5 minutes of added time. Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1, and the 5 minutes of stoppage time have begun. And Liverpool's perfect days no more, Troy Deeney, having conceded late on.
No, and that's more of a worry for the rest of the Premier League now, because they're going to be a little bit annoyed about that, so they're probably going to have to debrief and go again properly. But I think when you look at this Liverpool team, the changes have shown that they have to keep a lot of these guys fit and able, because once they change, they just look a little bit more disjointed, especially in the middle of the park. So for the rest of the Premier League, this is one of those games when you're thinking, this isn't good that Ipswich scored.
Must be stoppage time at the Amex as Everton look to be hanging on there. Talksport's Alfie Reynolds.
We're into 8 minutes added time. Brighton 0, Everton 1. As things stand at the moment, Iliman Ndiaye's first half penalty will make it back-to-back wins for David Moyes' side, but they've sat back. They've had to soak up all sorts of pressure in this second half. Brighton pushing forward. They've had lots of the ball. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
India need 13 runs from 2 overs remaining in the T20 International in Chennai. Live commentary on Talksport 2 right now, the conclusion of that. 13 off 12 balls required. Ipswich need snookers. 91 gone. Ipswich 4-1 down. Now it's 13 to win from 1.5 overs with 8 wickets down. 153 for 8. Chasing 166 to win. Portsmouth did get a goal back at West Brom. 5-1. Tommy Waddingham with a goal for Pompey, who were next in action live on Talksport 2 on Tuesday night at home to Millwall. And don't forget, the Champions League and the Europa League conclude Wednesday and Thursday. And Wednesday night we're offering you Aston Villa against Celtic on Talksport and Manchester City against Club Brugge on Talksport 2. Plenty riding on that City game. And full-time whistle's gone at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Newcastle 3. We'll get a full-time report from Alex Crook in just a bit, but that's more like it from Newcastle after they were humbled at home by Bournemouth last weekend. But Bournemouth have just been dishing out the goals to Nottingham Forest this afternoon as well, going 6th in the Premier League. But Liverpool are staying top, but not going any further clear by virtue of Arsenal hanging on to that one-goal scoreline at Wolverhampton Wanderers. 4-1 they lead, and Ipswich in possession inside their own half, and Greaves, the goal scorer, feeds it out to the left-hand side, and George Hurst now down the left-hand side of the area, just rolls it back in field for Broadhead riding the challenge of Federico Chiesa, plays the ball across the face of goal. Van Dijk has to turn it behind for a corner, and another verbal volley from the Liverpool captain to his fellow defenders. 4-1 Liverpool.
He's just letting everybody know that, look, this is about concentration. Gone past Trent, gone past Kanate, gone past Harvey Elliott like they weren't there. He's not happy. Enciso's
last corner from this position got the consolation goal. Again, he's raised both arms in the air, the Ipswich substitute. In it comes right-footed, rolls it short to the edge of the area. He gets it back from a short pass, feints the cross with his right, checks. Now he sends it, another brilliant cross, headed over the bar. Ben Johnson, big chance, but the offside flag went up anyway against Ben Johnson. Charlton looked to have won it against Shrewsbury late on. Thierry Small making it Charlton 1, Shrewsbury 0. Check it again quickly at Molineux, Adam Bridge.
Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. About 60 seconds of added time to play. Tierney's come on for Martinelli as Arteta looks to try and close this game down and deny Wolves an equalising goal that they continue to push for. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1.
So Liverpool and Arsenal winning. Newcastle have won. Chelsea in 5th will be underway against Manchester City at the Etihad within the next half an hour or so, and regular updates of that Premier League encounter during the course of the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Liverpool fans, get your calls in to Jermaine, your former player, 03717 223344, about another swaggering performance from Liverpool, and in particular from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it just puts a full stop and highlights how daft it is that this could be the last knockings of Trent Alexander-Arnold in a red Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, absolutely, and there you go.
The full-time whistle goes. Liverpool march on towards this potential 20th league title. 18 games unbeaten in the Premier League, and they soar off Ipswich without really breaking much of a sweat. 3-0 up at half-time. They made it 4 when Cody Gakpo got his second of the afternoon with a header in close range from an absolutely sumptuous Trent Alexander-Arnold cross. He was outstanding for Liverpool today down their right-hand side. Mo Salah got his customary goal. Szoboszlai also on the mark. Jacob Greaves got a late consolation back for Ipswich Town, who stay in the bottom 3. But Liverpool are still setting the standard at the top of the Premier League for others to try and follow. Full time at Anfield, Liverpool 4, Ipswich Town 1.